Welcome to the other side.
Yeah!
Welcome to the other side, everybody. This is the Wrestling in the Media podcast. We're taking a look at wrestlers that end up in other forms of media, such as books, such as movies, such as TV, such as everything. I am your first host, Nitro FTW, and
and I am Apollo Picaro.
yeah. So this is we've tried doing this before. There was a time where we had another thing set up. We were doing a pilot, I think like a year and a half ago, on like The Condemned, I think it was.
We had this idea the premise of like this podcast for like a long time.
Oh, for sure.
And like The Condemned was like our first dip into going into that.
Yeah.
But I kind of like to think of it as our episode 0.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, like in a way, because like it gave us experience of like what it's like talking on a podcast, like things that can go wrong, and also like what to talk about, what not to talk about, like how to stay on topic for a thing, but also like to try to keep like the show entertaining as well, because
for sure,
as like we can and go into specifics of things that we talk about, but also I kind of also like to just shoot the shit about things that we talk about because it just like comes off more genuine.
Of course. And since that pilot episode, I've started a podcast of my own that it doesn't have a whole lot of episodes yet. I think it's about 4 episodes deep at this point. But I have sort of an experience as to like what podcast recording, especially with somebody else, is all about. And I'm learning as I go here. But I think I'm more confident now with the whole podcast thing than I was a year and a half ago when we did episode 0. So I'm actually quite happy. I have a little more experience when it comes to that, I guess. So.
But plus, it's just kind of fun.
Yeah, of course. I'd love doing podcasts. Podcasts are great.
Yeah, because I remember like we've been wanting to do like a wrestling podcast that's together for like so many years.
Oh God, we have. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like we could never like settle on like a proper like premise or like what we could talk about, because a lot of like wrestling podcasts are either just like people are just talking about what's currently happening in wrestling, or they'll just talk about the news. And that shit has gone like super saturated. So we're just like,
for sure.
Okay, how can we keep the premise of like being about wrestling, but also something that isn't talked about much by other people? So like we kind of both came to the conclusion of what if we just like talk about wrestling shit that's like outside of wrestling?
Yeah, that was a. I mean, to be fair, nobody else is really doing what we're doing. I think the closest person that would be doing what we're doing is, at times, Brian Zane would review he'd review wrestling movies, but is not consistent with it. I'm pretty sure he does.
And it's not like his. Yeah, it's not like his focus.
I'm pretty sure he only does like those sort of editorials and reviews like once a month now. Most of his channel is pay-per-view reviews now, but anyway, that's not the point.
Yeah,
that isn't the point. I think
we love Brian Zane. Like, don't get it twisted.
Yeah, no, we love Brian Zane, but yeah. Anyway, we should introduce ourselves. I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, like you first.
For sure.
I kind of like you as like the leading guy.
All right. Hey. All right. So for those who don't know me already, I am Nitro FTW. I was a former YouTube pooper. I was in that field for a bit, and I've been a wrestling fan now for about 15 years, off and on. I watched a lot of stuff when I was growing up, and I ended up becoming a real big super fan around the time of the late 2016 draft. That was when I really became a super fan of wrestling. And as time has gone on, I've branched out from not only WWE, but I've gone to I'm watching like everything now. I'm watching AEW, I'm watching Impact, I'm watching Japanese wrestling. I'm big into independent wrestling. So I started a podcast on independent wrestling. The podcast that I mentioned earlier that I was working on was my independent wrestling podcast. And I quite like doing it because there are so many great indie shows, especially now. The indies is like prime real estate now for some serious like crazy shit. But it's
like thriving, really.
Oh yeah, it's the best it's been since before COVID. In fact, I think it's better
for sure
than before COVID. I think so. But yeah, I've been a wrestling fan for 15 years, off and on. I was a former YouTube pooper for about a good 7 years, I think. I was in there. At the end of 2021, I was sort of like, okay, I want to start something new. I want to do something new with my internet career, I guess. So I began doing 2 things. I began thinking of a podcast, and I began to do streaming. I don't stream as much as I used to, but I want to get back into it. I started streaming last year. I've been streaming more this year as time has gone on, and I've had a lot of fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with streaming. It's introduced me to a lot of stuff that I never would have gotten into if I didn't stream. I'm a big Spyro guy now, thanks to streaming. So
That's awesome.
that's awesome. Spyro's a great series. It's a great batch of games. But the second thing I wanted to do besides streaming was do a podcast, and I've been toying with the idea of doing this one with Apollo, and then the one on my own, which was the independent wrestling one that I have. So my history with Apollo, I met him back I think 2017. I think.
Yeah, I was like around
Yeah,
there.
it
Yeah,
was.
because like
Yeah,
yeah, because like I was like a friend, like I was like a fan of like a bunch of YouTube poops, like a
yeah,
pooper people.
for sure.
Oh, and like you were just like one of them,
Yeah,
and like I remembered like I followed you, or like on Twitter, or like at
yeah,
some point I saw that you liked wrestling, so like I just like DM'd you being like, yo, like, and this wrestling thing's like sort of cool or whatever, and then
yeah.
like I don't know, like we just kept being friends from there.
I guess it just kind of popped off from there, I guess. But yeah, we've known each other for quite a while now. I definitely, you're probably one of my longest friends. I think you're like my second longest. I think I have one on Discord that I've had for longer than you, but that's probably it. I haven't
Oh
kept my
shit.
I haven't had like I've not had a person who's like been my friend since like I don't know kindergarten. I haven't had that kind of person because back then I was not very like talkative. I was very like shy in my own bubble, even in high school. It took me getting out of high school to really to get like a bigger batch of friends. So anyway, that's not what matters. But that's me. That's my story. If you want to dive into yours for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so my history is like my name's Apollo. Like I am currently like an artist and like trying to start art up streaming. And because in the few times that I've actually tried it, a lot of things went wrong, but also it kind of felt right too. Like I still kind of had fun despite all of that. And I'm also like an aspiring filmmaker
Mm,
or as well. Like I even have like a couple like screenplays that I'm like on and off writing. And but like I'm not on them as much as I should be because I also have like real life shit like grad school and stuff
mm,
of like how long I've been a wrestling fan, and it's like I've never really counted the years. Here's because like there were like moments in my life where like I wanted to quit wrestling entirely because of some bullshit WWE would do,
mm,
or like some real life shit that affected the entire business at large,
mm,
or is that just made me like not like wrestling from a perspective of like conscious of like of my conscience, I guess. It's because of like a lot of bullshit and like that happened there. But like I was like a wrestling fan since I was like probably like 7,
mm,
and it's been like a part of my life in some form, or like through like the highs and lows,
mm,
both of just like of wrestling itself and also like life in general.
mm,
Oh, like I, I think like the very first time that my fandom like really skyrocketed, it was like when I went to WrestleMania for the first time, and which was like WrestleMania 28, and which at the time like felt goddamn amazing, but nowadays I don't look back on with fondness given like how badly that shows like has aged, both
mm,
booking wise and also quality of the show itself.
mm.
And then the second time like my fandom like ever exploded in wrestling was like when AEW started because there was like that shit that happened with Seth and Bray in the cell.
Mm.
Oh, which just like made me hate wrestling entirely. But then luckily Dynamite came out like the week after, so like that saved wrestling for me. And then I like dabbled like here and there in like independent stuff, like occasionally stuff in Japan. And when it comes to like the Fed itself, I only know what goes on because of like other people that are friends of mine that just tell me what happens, and I just comment on what they tell me.
Mm. It's fair.
Yeah, and like as we mentioned earlier, like I really wanted to like do a podcast as like about wrestling for like years, but like we just really couldn't figure out like what to do, what angle should we do.
Mm,
Oh, and also I just didn't have like the maturity or like the follow through to like get any of that done.
mm,
And because at the time I just kind of had this mentality of like, oh, doing this thing would be really cool, but then I just never do it.
hmm,
And which is like a habit that I've like luckily improved from,
mm,
like for the most part, like as I grew up.
mm.
So like it's kind of surreal that like this is actually happening. Again, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Oh, same. I'm definitely on that boat with you. I want to see where this goes. I'm very excited for how this is gonna end up because there's so much.
Yeah,
There's
because like
yeah,
either like if we have like 5 listeners or like 5,000 listeners, like it doesn't matter anymore. Like I just want to do shit that sounds cool to me, and whatever comes along with it, like I'll just like go with it. Because it's like for a long time, I just like thought like, oh, like doing things for clout is cool. Oh, like that's what all the popular artists do. But then over time, aim like learning about what it takes to actually do stuff, and then also seeing how how certain people will get affected by a like that drive to do shit just to be famous. Like it made me realize like, oh, this is a miserable life to live. I should just let's like just be grateful for like what I have and just do shit that I like because it's fun.
for sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. For sure. For sure.
And no matter like what good or bad that we'll like look over like in this show, and there will be a lot of good and bad,
Oh, for
and
sure.
like I'm just still excited to like do this shit.
Oh, same. I'm 100% on this. Like I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I'm happy we're finally doing it because
It's about that
it's
time.
just about that time. Anyway, what say you we start diving into our first topic here?
Oh yes, so
Yes,
WrestleMania 21, the very
Wrestle. Yeah,
first time in yeah WrestleMania. Ah,
WrestleMania. WrestleMania goes
ah,
Hollywood. Ah.
ah. Oh god, that's not gonna be the last time you hear me do the because I
Yeah.
just love doing that shit.
Oh, yeah. Same.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so WrestleMania 21, the first time in my WrestleMania went Hollywood, but this is also the first time WWE it was in a major city advertising stuff from major city while being in major city. Like you know
Mm.
how like WrestleMania when they go to like MetLife Stadium they say, "Oh, we're in the shadow of New York," but they don't say New Jersey.
Yeah. I mean, they're not actually in the shadow. No, they say they're in the shadow of the Empire State Building. They're not actually in the shadow. They're like, I think they're like a good
Far away from the
like
shadow.
45 minutes away from the shadow of the Empire State Building. And this is for true because the MetLife Stadium is in New Jersey, not in New York. So,
Yeah, and I've literally been to New York like on a school trip once. I was like
mm.
in high school, and like one of the places that we went to was the New York Observatory,
Oh, yep.
which is like the big ass tower that they replaced Ace like the Twin Towers with.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
like we went to like the very top, up where like up there, I shit you not, you can see the entirety of New York and New Jersey on top of that tower.
Oh, my God. Seriously?
Dead
Whoa.
ass. Like
Oh,
I saw
my.
the entirety of New York from up there, and I also saw New Jersey.
That is crazy. No, that's so cool.
Yeah, so like yeah, like yeah, so like it's not even in the shadow of the Empire State Building. It is far from the shadow.
Oh,
But back
very
then
far.
that wasn't the case because this was actually in Los Angeles.
Right. Yeah, this was in LA in an indoor building. So you can't really say
Yeah, in
it's
an
in the
indoor
yeah, you
building.
can't really say it's in the shadow of anything when you can't even see the shadow. So
Yeah, but at least like the advertising in this show, oh, like actually matches the location.
yeah, it was for sure like on point. It was probably the only time they ever did something like this because none of the other manias really fit with the. I mean, there's been a couple that have sort of integrated the city into the theming of the show. Maybe like a lot of the HD ones. 24 through 26 had a bit of a light theme. 2012, 2013 maybe,
I mean,
2014.
like with 2012, I can confirm it's not like in the actual city. It's actually an hour away from like South Beach.
Oh my, really? Huh.
Yeah, WrestleMania 28 wasn't actually in Miami. It's in Miami Lakes, which is like more north,
Oh
I think,
yeah.
of Miami by about an hour on a good day.
That was in the that was
It's,
not that was in the Camping World Stadium, right?
no, it was in like Sun Life Stadium.
Oh, Sun Life. Yeah. Okay. 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 Gotcha. Yeah. Cause
Yeah,
I
so it's like yeah, I think like that really started the trend of like
yeah
not being in a city.
Miami Gardens. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. That was okay. I see what it is. Okay. I thought it was in
Yes.
Miami. Okay. Well, the more you know, I guess. Mm.
Yeah, so all like and with being in LA for the first time, AIM like they had an idea like to promote the show
Mm.
with actually having it be Hollywood based. It's like they decided to make like a bunch of skits It's
Yeah.
of like wrestlers reenacting like famous movies
Famous movie scenes.
just
Yep.
to promote the show.
To promote. Yeah. It was really neat at the time because they haven't done anything like that. And with them trying to do it again for this new WrestleMania show, and with it not being as good, I don't know what it is. They have 4 current skits, with I think a 5th one coming. I read up on what's rumored and what the skits are. So it's like, yes, there's Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch in the Joker, which started off fine, but then got kind of lame at the end. It doesn't really work for some reason.
Yeah, but like honestly, that's like the best out of all of them that they've shown so far
Honestly,
because
I
a
agree.
thing
Yeah.
I've noticed with like the skits that they've released so far is like are that they don't let the like skits have any room to breathe.
No,
It's
they.
really just
Yeah,
like
it's too
here's
quick.
a thing you recognize from a movie, like the wrestler talks and then like the skit's over.
Exactly. Yeah. There was Bianca Belair and Montez Ford in Titanic, which was too short, and actually
Way too short.
it was actually not great either. I don't know if it was Montez or Bianca, but I respect them as wrestlers and as people, but as actors, it kind of just didn't work from
Yeah,
what I
I feel
remember.
like had that skit been longer, like they would have been better because I know like both of them have like God knows how much charisma.
Oh, same. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking yeah. They both have a lot of charisma. I agree with that for sure.
yeah, and then like there was like a Miz and Maurice like in
Yeah,
Top
Miz
Gun,
and Marie's Top
but they
Gun.
don't even do. Yeah, like, they don't even do anything with it. It's just like the Miz preparing to host WrestleMania and talking about it, and like the backdrop is Top Gun,
Yeah, they
and like that's it.
yeah they didn't take advantage of the setting of like where they are. Like you know where you are. You're in Top Gun. Fucking like 100% that shit. You know, like don't
Or
like
just do the volleyball
or
scene.
do the volleyball thing. That would work. No, that'd be great. You could put more people in the skit. It'd be funny because they're shirtless. Put like fucking Otis in there or something. That'd be hilarious. No, I love
Yeah,
that.
because like yeah, because what the WrestleMania sketches that we're gonna talk about, oh, like what makes them work over the things that they've been doing, and are that, and like these skits, all of them entirely focus on the parts of the movie that everybody knows.
Well, that and also they very much integrate the wrestlers or the characters into the wrestler itself, so that it's more like it feels more immersive. Like it makes you feel like it's an actual movie scene playing. It's not like, oh, this is an advertisement for WrestleMania, but it's disguised as a skit. No, it's like this is a skit telling you to go see WrestleMania in a way that makes it feel like it's not some blatant advertisement, which is what makes these skits great. So,
And also like the production design, like in these like skits, it's like are like a lot better, which we'll get into once we start talking about these.
yeah.
Like a thing I've noticed of like about these like skits, it's especially given the time period, and like they really feel like probably Michael Hayes came up with the idea of like doing these skits.
Most likely, honestly. Actually, better
Yeah,
yet.
because like I
Yeah.
tried. Yeah.
No, no, go on, go on.
Oh, okay. So like, because like I tried like doing research or it's like on like the production and like of these skits. It's on like what like whose idea was it? Like how did they like put these things together? And I found it next to nothing.
Mm, that I didn't find anything either. All I found was pictures that WWE posted on their website about behind the scenes of the skits in question, and there are a couple of really funny pictures that I found on there. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, like you got one of like Booker T and Eddie just looking fucking clean.
Just looking fly. It's a great picture. On it could be an
Like
album cover. It looks so clean, honestly.
oh hell yeah! Like I could put this over like a black and white filter. Like add some text over this. Put the parental advisory in one of the corners. Like this is like definitely an album cover right
Yeah,
there.
that's for sure clean, honestly.
Yeah,
But
and like another picture is like Ric Flair and like Triple H just like, laughing together, just like shooting the shit, probably like
yeah,
mid production,
yeah,
and just like having fun.
having
And
fun
then like you see like Stone Cold like with the helmet,
with the
but the
helmet.
helmet is like adjusted really badly.
Yeah, it's and it when I saw it, because the helmet looks very similar to like MF Doom. I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it's fucking MF Stone Cold Steve Austin.
MF Stone Cold.
MF Stone Cold gonna stomp a fucking mud hole, and I didn't come up with a punchline for this joke. Oops.
Fuck it, we're keeping it in.
Yeah, fuck it, keep it, whatever. And then there's a funny
It's our
one.
first episode. Like, fuck it.
Yeah. Anyway, there's the fourth one I posted, which is a fucking awesome one of Undertaker just looking at something. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty funny because when I see it, all I can think of is Benghazi. I have no idea why.
Now.
Not to get political or anything, but I have no idea why I look at it and think of that. I just do. Just funny.
So like Undertaker is like looking like that he's getting ready to present at like the RNC.
Oh God.
Because the fucking sweater over the tie, that's red, like the fucking coat, the goddamn like cherry blonde hair.
Yeah, he's looking swagged up, but he's looking swagged up to go to like the friggin' NRA convention or something. to go speak at the NRA convention.
I'm here. I'd like to introduce, who's like my best pal, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Guns are good. We don't want to ban guns. Anybody who wants to ban guns, we'll take them to wrestlers' court.
We're gonna take him to the learning tree.
Take him to the learning tree. Oh God! Ooh, that's funny.
Oh God. These are gonna be so fun to talk about.
Oh, for sure.
So. In 2005, WWE, where are we at? Well, WWE is still in the middle of the ruthless, actually right smack dab in the middle of the ruthless aggression era.
I always refer...
new stars have already been established, more are on the rise, especially with John Cena and Batista being primed to be the guys of the company.
I always refer to 2005. I have 3 years of the ruthless aggression era that I believe are super good, but they're also super transitional years. I think 02, 05, 08 are the 3 best years of the whole era. 05
and even then they have their faults.
For sure, they have their faults, but 05 is WWE is right, they're about to have one of their best years ever. There is a lot of good stuff that happens in 05, especially leading up to WrestleMania. The Rumble was pretty solid, and then No Way Out was bad. But all SmackDown pay-per-views are bad. You can't tell me there's one that's extremely great or anything like that. I always thought they were all bad. So, but
yeah, and I think what helped them was that this WrestleMania that they're advertising these skits ended up being a pretty successful WrestleMania critically and commercially.
For sure, yeah, and Mania 21 don't take it for granted. It's a stacked ass card. Fucking the first Money in the Bank. You got Ray versus Eddie for the first time. You got
Undertaker versus Orton.
Taker Orton. You got friggin' Angle Shawn Michaels. You have Angle Shawn Michaels there as well. You have the most based segment of the whole show. Hulk Hogan stomping out racism, I guess.
No, I think Hulk Hogan is being racist, but he's portrayed as the good guy.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. That's true.
Yeah, because this was back when the Muhammad Hassan gimmick still had nuance,
right?
So that he looked absolutely right in his cause.
For sure, yeah. But looking back at it now, almost 20 years later, it's a pretty badly aged segment.
Oh yeah, 100%. But at least But at least the show makes up for it with another segment that is actually based where it's Stone Cold and Roddy Piper meeting each other for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And then their interactions were goddamn perfect.
No, I haven't actually watched that. I should definitely go and watch that.
It's a good ass segment.
For sure. But despite WrestleMania 21's fair share of duds with Big Show and Akabono especially, it was well known for
the image of Big Show's ass is forever burned in my head.
Yeah, but it will forever be known as the WrestleMania that crowned Batista and John Cena as the new breed. These were the guys to be in 2005. This was the new era.
These are gonna be your stars, or just for the rest of this era.
I believe this was one of the only times where it was so blatant where WWE was these are your guys. These are our guys. We're going to push them to the moon. These are your big stars for the next couple of years. They've done it before with other guys, but nothing has been so blatant where they've done it with 2 people in the same show, I feel like.
Funny enough, both of them am like now in Hollywood.
Yeah, both of them are now in Hollywood, which is sad because damn it, I miss them in wrestling. I really do.
I
I
mean,
miss
I
them so
miss
much.
Batista in wrestling, but it's
I
like
do too.
Batista he's doing so much better or
In
like
Hollywood,
now than he ever
yeah,
was in wrestling. It's like it's really just a case of like they need him, but he doesn't need them, and
that's
good for Batista.
that's honestly true. Yeah, that's based. So good for him. We'll
Yeah, especially
yeah.
since like Batista has openly said that like he did not want his success as a wrestler to determine his success in Hollywood,
Hmm.
like because like he really took acting seriously.
That's fair. Honestly, it's very fair.
Yeah, like when he got cast as for the first time to be Drax in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, he was happy about it, but then he also went to take like more acting classes because as he's just like I've hit it big, but also I want to do better or more because I don't want a single thing to define me, and I want to like really be part of the craft, which really makes me respect him a
That
lot more
mad
than I already
respect.
do because Batista is a very respected dude.
Batista certainly is. I've always had a respect for him, like even back then, because every time I see him, he reminds me of my dad. He always reminds me of my dad. He looks almost like he doesn't look like him, but he looks very similar to what my dad would look like. So, I've always
That's
carried some
awesome.
sort of respect for just by looking at him. But I'm happy he's doing good in Hollywood because he deserves it. Dude deserves the world. He's such a good role model for everybody who's trying to start from the bottom, make it to the top. Because that was Batista for a bit. You know,
Yeah, like, Batista is the only wrestler that can never disappoint me.
I I think I have to agree with you at least for the moment.
Yeah, because we've seen the highs and lows of Batista, but even throughout all of that, Batista still comes like most like decent person.
For sure, for sure. There's never been a
And then
time.
like on John Cena's end, and like it's like now he's really starting to be like big in Hollywood. Earlier in his career though, not so much, and
It
we
was a
will be
little
covering that
rough.
on the show.
Oh God, we will be. We'll be diving into like Cena. We'll be diving into Batista. We'll be diving into friggin' The Rock as well, because of course we will.
Oh,
So
that's gonna be rough.
yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a little rough going through all that. But
I mean, I'm carrying a positive attitude about this show, but
same.
like I am not excited for whenever we have to do a Rock movie.
I will say going through the game plan and also the Tooth Fairy in one podcast is going to be it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. I'm
Oh,
I'm not excited.
oh boy.
Also, I'll have to watch Race to Witch Mountain for the third fucking time, and I think that's one of the most boring movies of all time. So get ready for
That's
that.
gonna be the second time I watched that movie because I
I
actually saw that shit in theaters.
I watched it once when I got my wisdom teeth pulled out in late 2019, and I just was on Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever, and I was like, what movie do I want to watch? And then I saw Race to Witch
Oh,
Mountain,
I
and I'm
remember
like,
you were telling me about
yeah,
that.
and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a movie. I guess I'll watch it. I barely paid attention. It was okay. And then I watched it again during a D&D session because I like having background noise on when we do D&D sessions. And I like having something on that's not uh, interesting because then it will take our focus away from the game. But at this point, we don't watch anything during sessions anymore because it's too distracting. But yeah, it goes to show you how much I care about Race to Witch Mountain. I really don't care about it, so I have no disrespect
Uh,
against it, but there's nothing special about it. So,
yeah, and that's not even going to be the worst that we're going to cover.
oh no, there are way worse than Race to Witch Mountain. Trust me,
Yeah,
trust
but for
us.
now, like we're gonna like just like focus on the positive. It's like what we're talking about is
Right?
something I think I can safely say for the speaking for the both of us. That's just like something we enjoyed in
Yeah.
watching.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed watching these. I've seen some of these a lot of times when I was younger, and then I've seen some of these for the first time today. So definitely a sort of a best of both worlds kind of thing with me. But all these are great in their own way. So I'm excited to dive into them.
Yeah, like my history with these skits, it's where that I wasn't watching wrestling at the time because I didn't watch wrestling until like late 2006.
Right.
So I missed out on all of this stuff entirely. And I didn't know about these skits until like years later, like when I first like started like watching wrestling shit on YouTube. Like in
Right.
an era where there were like a lot of like wrestling AMVs, and like big action figure shit, and also like a lot of backyard stuff on YouTube.
Right.
Where like there were only like four of these that I would watch a lot because they were the only ones available on YouTube at the time, and because back then like shit with copyright, like with those sketches was like very rough. I mean, still
Mm.
rough now, but like
It's
not
not
like
near.
as crazy.
It's not as bad. No.
Yeah, so it's like only like some of these I knew of, and then like years later, I got like the DVD of like WrestleMania 21 when I was like 15, and like the DVD came with all of those skits, so I got to like marathon all of them.
Oh, nice.
So some of those I got to see for the first time, which it's like blew my mind.
Hmm.
And then I remember one time I was staying home from school because I was sick, and my mom was watching me like watch. I was like take her the DVD, and she was just like, "Oh, what are those skits?" So like we watched all of them together, which I thought was a bad idea. Because it's like some of these, like I'm not gonna show my parents this, but like my mom wanted to watch all of them, and like she thought they were funny.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, surprisingly, like a wholesome bonding moment.
Yeah, that's great. Hmm.
Yeah, so like, the only thing like I do know for sure, like when it comes to like the background of these skits, it's where that like just like what they're doing now with the current skits, it's for WrestleMania. But like these skits were also all like premiered like weekly, in like WWE shows. It was
Right.
like they had a contest, and so like people voted on like what was like the best one. And
Oh,
like most of these like were on like the list, but only one was not shown until the night of the event itself.
which
And
I
just like
think
how
I.
WrestleMania's,
Yep, I think I know which one you're talking about.
yeah, so like just as WrestleMania started with like this sketch, we're gonna start with this
We're gonna
sketch,
start
the
with this
Gladiator
sketch.
skit with
Yay!
Stone Cold as Maximus and some dude as Commodus.
Yeah. I got a teensy bit of background on this one. It's not like some behind the scenes bullshit. It's something that like was so. This segment came after the intro. It popped on after the intro of the show. It was the first segment to have played. And what's funny about this segment is that at this point, when Stone Cold is revealed, the crowd has not seen him in a year. He's not been here since he's not been here since WrestleMania 20 last year. So when people saw Stone Cold, like it got a huge fucking reaction at the arena. It got a huge pop. Everybody was excited. It was the first time they'd seen him in like a year. So it really pumped people up. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and like a thing like that starts this skit that starts with all the skits, but it's a thing that I want to point out because it's like a little thing I appreciate.
Right.
Is that they have the green screen that they show before, or like each skit, like an actual movie trailer, where like they say, like the following has been approved for general audiences with like the rating and the with the rating box in the bottom, like the MPAA shit.
Right.
But like it says April 3rd, and
April
it
3rd.
says WrestleMania like in the bar, like if it's an actual rating.
Yeah.
Like this event is rated WrestleMania.
Which doesn't make any sense because what does that mean?
Yeah,
What
it
is
doesn't make
something?
sense at
Yeah.
all, but like little things like that I really appreciate. And like they really do go a long way.
Oh, for sure. It helps for sure.
Yeah, so like how this skit starts, or it's just that like it starts like the end of a battle. Like it's pretty much the introduction and like it's who like the Emperor, like in actual Gladiator.
Right.
Or like you see like a dude who like grabbing like sand like from the arena, and like you see a Joaquin Phoenix come out, but like this dude looks like and simultaneously doesn't look like Joaquin Phoenix at the same time. It's really weird.
I've not seen Gladiator, and I forgot that Joaquin Phoenix was in that, so I wasn't looking at him like, oh my god, this looks like Joaquin Phoenix. I forgot he was even in that movie. So I've never seen Gladiator. Like I have not
I
seen
mean, he
many
has the
movies
voice
here about.
down, but like
Right.
appearance wise, he's like voice wise, he's good. Appearance
Right.
wise, he looks like him, but also doesn't look like him at the time. It's like
Right.
Schrodinger's Phoenix.
Just Schrodinger's Phoenix. That's great. That's
I
awesome.
literally just came up with that shit now. But
No,
like, yeah,
that's
like he
good.
shows up. Yeah, so he shows up, and he's just like, "Hey, go rise, is warrior. Come on." Oh, like why not like tell us your name? And then Stone Cold, just as like goes up, just turns to him and says, "My name is Gladiator," and
My
then just
name
turns
is,
his back to the Emperor,
and
which
then
offends
yeah,
him.
and then the crowd boos. The gladiator turns his back, and dude yells at him. He's like, "Take off your helmet!" And he wants him to reveal his name, and then he's like, "Who are you?" And then the gladiator is turned around. I think he's just turned around
Actually, like
still.
before that, like he does like a monologue,
Oh yeah, he does.
which yeah,
Yep,
which is something that I have written here, which I will do in my best or worst Stone Cold voice.
go right ahead.
Yeah, where like hey, before like he does all that, like he cuts a promo, pretty much like in the movie, where he's just like, "I am the master of the middle finger," and then he turns to like flip the dude off,
Yep.
of which
Mm.
like really pops the crowd,
Oh
like
yeah.
with like him doing that,
Yep.
and then he's just like, "And cheap ass whooper of sorry sons of bitches, beer drinker among beer drinkers, truster of no one, and I will stop a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry."
The crowd.
Which
Yep.
causes the crowd to go fucking crazy. And I imagine it was crazy in the audience too, because everybody knows how Stone Cold sounds.
For sure. Immediately when he turns around, he takes off his helmet. It's in slow motion. I thought his head was green screened on there because it looked like it was like I legit saw his head on there and I was like, there's no way that looks photoshopped. It looked like his head wasn't
Yeah.
even there. But he turns around, he takes off the helmet in slow motion, and then he goes like, "My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and tonight I unleash hell." And then
Cut to black.
cut to black.
Perfection. I gave this rating 5 out of 5 beers.
How 5 out of 5 beers? That's good. I didn't rate these, but 5 out of 5 beers would be exactly what I give this one. No, this is good.
Yeah, like this was
This is
like a
good.
good ass like skit to start the show with. Like it
Yeah,
gets the audience hyped for the start of the show. Oh, like it's a really like fun recreation of like a movie scene. Like Stone Cold Old is actually good at acting here.
for sure. Yeah, he's pretty good, pretty solid. All right.
Yeah, compared to
Yep.
the Condemned.
Oh God, yeah. We'll dive into the condemned again at one point. Not now, but
Yeah.
anyway. Moving on to our second segment, it's Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Christian, all the Chris's, and Stacy Keebler in a reenactment of Basic Instinct, which I've never seen
Oh, dude.
Basic Instinct, so. But this segment goes pretty crazy. This is a pretty crazy segment.
Okay, like
There's
I
so
feel
much
like
to
it's a bit
take
too
in.
early to like. I feel like it's a bit too early to like talk about like crazy this is, but like this needs to be heard to believe.
It does.
So
So it starts
yeah,
off with everybody kind of sitting down. Jericho is Jericho starts off, and then of course Stacy Keebler smoking, and then Benoit's like, "Hey, we don't allow smoking in here." And then Stacy Keebler's like, "What are you gonna do? Arrest me for smoking?" The camera cuts to Benoit, who has no reaction, and Christian, who just shrugs, just like whatever.
yeah, it's like a thing. Yeah, it's like a thing from the scene because like all of these
Yeah,
skits are like pretty good recreations like
for
of the
sure.
original movie
Yeah,
scenes. But like this Basic Instinct one, on easily like top tier when it
yeah,
comes to like recreation. Like it is shot like the actual film. Like they
yeah.
got
It
the
is
interrogation room right. They,
right.
like even in like the way like the camera turns to certain people in like certain cuts.
Yeah,
Also like all the Chris's are looking like different degrees of drip. Like Chris Jericho looks like a history teacher
mm,
that like I would have like in undergrad. Like Chris Benoit looks way too big for his suit. Like he looks like he's gonna rip out of there at any moment because he is fucking massive.
that's
And
true.
then Christian, and like his suit is like kind of basic, but like he kind of makes it work because
Hmm.
Christian's a cool dude.
That's fair. Something I noticed about all of these skits, and I'll probably talk on this later, is that I watched the original movie scenes along with these skits, and something I noticed right away is that almost every one of these movie scenes has no music at all, but the skits
Yeah,
add music
they
to it.
don't.
It's super weird. Like it's just something I noticed from it. But like I watched almost every scene from the original movie, and a lot of them don't have music, which I kind of was like, I said afterwards, I'm like, okay, maybe they should have done the sketch with no music. I don't know. It kind of would have been a little funnier, but that's yeah. But they were talking to Stacy. They were like, "Hey, tell us about your relation to Trish Stratus." And then
It was
Stacy, yeah,
immediately in that moment that I knew it was gonna get crazy. Because
Yeah.
immediately, like when I heard that, I wrote in my notes, "Holy shit, this is a deadlock
Yeah.
segment." Because
She
this is
yeah,
Stacy and
for
Trish.
sure. She said like in the original movie it was Sharon Stone with one of the rock stars. So it was like it was man on woman, all that stuff. But here it's like I think they were trying to pull a double entendre because they said things like Stacy said things like I was a tag team partner with her. I liked tagging with her. She wasn't afraid of experimenting. I like women like that who give me pleasure. So I'm just like,
And everyone
whoa.
is so horny in that room.
For everyone is so fucking horny, for sure.
Yeah, and even like a certain moment, like after like she says she gave me a lot of pleasure, Christian is just like looking at her like a sly dog. Like, I see what you're doing, Christian.
For
And
sure.
then like and then they ask her about different kinds of activity.
Chris,
Like, what
yeah,
about mixed tag activity?
yeah.
What
Jericho
about
asks,
hardcore activity?
and then
What about
fucking yeah,
sadomasochistic activity? And then Christian's face
yeah.
afterwards made me go, "Oh my god, this dude is a menace!"
Bro, the funniest part about that is that when Christian butts in, like it's close up on his face for no reason. It's so fucking funny. It like they didn't do that with anybody else. They just did it with Christian. So when Christian goes, "How about sadomasochistic activity?" His head sort of butts into the shot, and then like everybody else is looking at him, and then he goes, "Just asking." So
Yeah, like they're
just
looking at
wondering.
him and like he's a sick freak or something. And then
Oh, for
Stacy just
sure.
says, yeah, Stacy like says like, "I prefer lingerie pillow fights. Have you ever been in a lingerie pillow fight, Chris? It's you have to use all of your muscles. It's because it tires all of your body." And then she does the famous shot where she uncrosses her legs, like showing her pussy, like to
Right.
crossing her legs again. And they do the actual shot from the movie.
Hmm.
Like they don't do like any censoring or anything. Like they actually have her like open up and do with the clothes, which makes like everybody just like stunned.
Mm.
And then she's just like, "Any further questions?"
And then
It's Christian's just
yeah,
like well, Chris Jericho's just like, "No." But Benoit's
because
just
I
like,
was like,
"No."
no,
And
and
then
then
Christian
Christian,
leans in,
yeah, Christian leans
full
in,
confidence,
friggin'
going,
friggin'
"I
adjusts
love
his
you."
tie, and he goes, yeah, he goes, I love you, and like as he's doing it, he's like adjusting his tie. He's like, oh my god,
Yeah,
it's hot in
this
here,
man is a fucking beast.
bro. He's down bad. He's going crazy right now.
Dude, like raised chin and more like
Raised chin, that's good. Uh,
raised chin. I mean, it's already established. It's that like Christian is like the coolest white guy who ever lived.
oh god,
And
yeah.
Christian, yeah, fucking Christian, like it goes into that interrogation room looking like a fucking pervert, but
For
like
sure.
still like shoots his shot, but like loosening up his tie after all of that, just going, "I love you."
It's
Like
great.
Jesus,
Yeah,
man.
and then they show the WrestleMania 21 thing, and then the Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young come in, and Mae Young shows everybody her crotch, to which they all gag and vomit, and then she smiles horrifyingly. It is a very scary smile that Mae Young has. It is
Yeah, she is
friggin'
laughing at their or like a displeasure of
yeah.
looking at her old vagina. Like it is
It's
so funny.
it's
You know, like
gross.
Christian constantly yelling, "My eyes, my eyes!" Like fucking and like the dude from the SpongeBob movie, where
Yeah.
everybody's like saying, "Bold, bold, my eyes."
My eyes.
I rated this 4 out of 5 vaginas. I gave
Eh,
this a 4 because this is the second best Basic Instinct parody, right behind the time The Simpsons did a parody of Basic Instinct. And to
that's fair.
where, like, instead of like a lady being there, it's groundskeeper Willie. He like with
Hmm.
the fucking kilt.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, I may have shot Burns. And he opens up his leg. Everybody's just like, "Oh god." And then like one of them points a gun at him and like going, "This is your last warning about that."
Hmm. For sure. But no, I that was I think I'd probably give it a 4. I'd probably agree with that. No, that was a good seg. So
Yeah, like a pretty good seg, made a lot funnier, or like due to things happening over time and knowing new people.
for sure, yeah.
Because like this is like a Stacy versus Trish feud, making me think that it was just like a deadlock segment. And then like when fucking and like Christian was like being horny, and then like May and Moolah coming in.
Mm-hmm.
and just made me think like, oh my god, this keeps getting like more deadlock as this thing goes on.
For sure.
Just like really funny sketch. Like we're 2 for 2 so far,
We had two
or
for
with like
two.
a pretty good
And
stuff.
it gets better. There's a lot of really solid skits in this. So let me see here. I think we should dive into. I want to go over the Pulp Fiction one. I've been locked onto that for the past 5 minutes. I've been wanting to go over Pulp Fiction. So
Oh yeah, and I got the monologue written for that too. Like pretty much
I
all like a lot of these that come
yeah
monologues, like I have them written
yeah
down like word for word.
yeah. I also have the monologue for that written down. It's probably the only one I have written down. The other ones I don't. I didn't want to write too much down for anything. But Booker
I think
T,
like out of
yeah,
all of these, yeah.
yeah, it's Booker T and Eddie Guerrero in Pulp Fiction. Booker T plays Jules, and then Eddie Guerrero plays John Travolta's character, who I forget the name of. It's
With a
escaping me.
sick ass mullet.
With
Like
the
mullet Eddie has returned.
mullet and soul patch, he's looking pretty based and dripped the fuck out as Eddie. He's looking very good.
Like he was
So
looking
yeah,
crazy. I like Booker with the afro and like the handlebar stash like
yeah, it's
Samuel Jackson
great.
had. It was like pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the iconic scene, of course, where Jules Winfield comes into the apartment and recites the Bible. This is that famous scene. So when they come in, they tell the guy in there that they're associates of Vince McMahon.
Who's Marcellus Wallace in this universe, which leads me to believe that later on, like Vince and somebody else also are gonna like find themselves in a misunderstanding and like in a gun shop, and then Vince is gonna get fucked by like two rednecks.
Marcellus Wallace is Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction, right?
Well, no, like he's Ving Rhames.
Oh, okay. Then who's Bruce Willis?
Like that, I have no idea. I don't know like which wrestler like that would apply to.
Okay. I was just asking who Bruce Willis's character in the movie is because I've only watched half of Pulp Fiction, so
Well, you only saw half.
yeah, I haven't watched the full thing yet.
Oh, like Bruce Willis doesn't show up until like he only shows up in like one scene around like the first act, but then like they
Yeah, no,
hold him off for like a long time, and then in like the second half of the movie he gets like more stuff.
that's fair. Yeah.
But like yeah, but like there's like a scene where like Bruce Willis is like and like Ving Rhames like have like a scuffle because like he's trying to escape the city from Marcellus Wallace because of like some shit that he owes him.
Right.
And then they end up in like this gun shop where like a bunch of like weird like perverted like rednecks like hold them hostage and they like fuck Marcellus Wallace. He's in a
Right.
gimp outfit or some shit.
Mm.
Like it's like real fucked up stuff, which is what makes like the implication of Vince McMahon being Marcellus Wallace in this universe a lot crazier because I imagine that later on in that movie, like that happens to Vince,
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
which just makes me think that like later on there's gonna be a moment Vince goes, "I'm gonna get medieval on your fucking ass."
For sure. Now, one of the funniest opening lines in the seg is that Eddie Guerrero is going to the briefcase and he asks, "You know what they call WrestleMania in France?" And then Booker's like, he's talking to Eddie. He's like, "Go ahead, tell him." And then Eddie says, "WrestleMania."
Which is not true
Which
because I actually looked up the French word
oh shit
WrestleMania.
shit
It
you
is
did?
not WrestleMania.
What is
It's
it?
Cashmania.
Oh huh? What is it?
Like Cashmania. Like it's pretty much
Cashmania?
spelled. Yeah, it's pretty much like spelled Catchmania,
Hmm. Let me
but in French it's pronounced like Catchmania.
catch. Huh?
Catchmania.
I see.
Catchmania.
Catchmania. Gotcha. That's so weird. It's pretty
Yeah,
funny. I
that is.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, damn Eddie Guerrero with a bad language lesson, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and then like Booker like asks the guy about the show details where he's just like, hey,
Yeah.
so like you know when the show is, right? Well, yeah, it's April 3rd.
Yeah.
And you like then why didn't you buy any tickets?
Because the
They were
seats were
sold
sold out.
out. But you do have pay-per-view.
No.
Somebody stole our pay-per-view box. And
I-
then Booker turns to Eddie being like somebody stole their pay-per-view box.
I was
But I just like to think that it was Eddie that stole it.
I was I was questioning the like I'm old, but I'm not that old, so I had no idea what a fucking pay-per-view box was. I've never had one. I've never owned one. I've always bought pay-per-views through whatever cable provider I had. So it just was, it's kind of weird to me that he goes, oh, my pay-per-view box was stolen. Like, what the fuck is what the hell is a pay-per-view box? I never actually had one. So I
I
don't
don't
know.
know that either because I also grew up with like getting pay-per-views from like a cable provider. Because like my dad
Yeah.
had like DirecTV, and we always got like our pay-per-views through that.
Right. I would get, like, back when I was young, like 7 or 8 when I was first getting into wrestling. I'd usually get it on. I wouldn't like watch full pay-per-view feeds. I'd go watch the preview match they'd have on like Comcast, because what TNA would do is they would have a preview of the show by just putting one match on Comcast. So that's what I'd do. I'd watch that one match, and then I wouldn't watch the rest of the show. And then like
Yeah,
later,
literally
yeah,
what AEW and WWE does now.
for sure. And then what I did with like years later when I was living in Virginia, I believe I had DirecTV then, so that's when I began like buying the pay-per-views outright. Yeah, it was like 2011 I was buying pay-per-views then. And then I think in like a couple years before, in like '09, I think I was still with Comcast at that point. So pay-per-views were bought through there. So, but yeah, I never had a pay-per-view box. So,
And it was in that moment that Booker T pulls out the famous it's a monologue that's also cut, and also they cut out the whole what sequence entirely because of course they're not going to show that on TV.
but they
like
yeah,
Booker
it's
T,
still a long ass monologue though. So,
and I have it like written here, which I will read now.
as do I.
Soul.
We should read one half of it each, because we both have it written down.
Like I think like you should read like the first half, and I'll read like the second half because of like the into the ending.
Right. Where do you want to start in that? Because I was gonna stop at and I will strike down upon thee. You
can stop at like a finder of lost children, and I could read the rest.
That's what I was gonna do. That's what I was saying. So anyway, reading off Ezekiel 25:17, which I looked this up. This is not an actual Bible quote, which I figured out that Quentin Tarantino just rewrote it. Blessed is he who in the name of charity, and goodwill shepherds the weak. Wait, should I do it in the Booker T voice?
Do it.
Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and finder of lost children.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance, and those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you, my name is the Lord, when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Now can you dig that, sucker?
And instead of pulling out a gun, he pulls out tickets to the show.
Hooray! So happy he got his tickets. That's great.
Yeah, it was like such a fun misdirect. I
No,
the payoff to that.
No, that was great. And the best part about it is that right at the end, Eddie's like, "Hey, I'm happy we didn't have to use these guns." Booker T slaps him on the shoulder, and the fucking gun goes off. So,
yeah, he absolutely kills the guy, and like at the very end of the skit, which I saw like in the DVD that I mentioned, like Eddie like sees like the dude's dead body like with the tickets, and Eddie steals them back.
That's awesome. That I didn't even see that. No, that's awesome. Oh, that's
God,
great.
Dude, it is a crime that we never got Eddie Guerrero in a movie, because my fucking God, he would have killed it.
Dude would have been funny. He would have been great. It would have been awesome.
Like I fucking miss Eddie, man. I mean, I wasn't around when he was alive, but like when you watch like his old stuff, like you still get that appreciation of him as a wrestler, no matter like when you were born. Like
for
Eddie,
sure, yeah.
It touched like everyone's lives, like even in postmortem.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
And I gave this rating 5 out of 5 cheeseburgers.
5 out of 5 what? You cut off for a minute.
Cheeseburgers.
I'm shocked they didn't even do the cheeseburger thing in it. That would have been funny.
Oh, like it's a long ass sequence, so
I know,
it makes sense.
I know.
Instead, like if they cut out some stuff, but at the same time, it still kind of sucks that that some stuff got cut.
It does suck, but I guess all in the name of shortening the segment. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, and like from like positive feelings of being around people, to other feelings when surrounded by no one. And like here's Triple H as William Wallace. It's like recreating Braveheart.
Recreating
which
Braveheart.
I have a soft spot like for this. Is it because even and when I know the joke is coming, the timing in like of this skit is like unbelievable. Well, like we start out with like a bunch of spears in a field, or
Yeah,
then Triple H riding in a pale horse, but he
yeah,
wasn't Death. He was Triple H.
yeah. He is.
And like
First and foremost, he has a bad Scottish accent. It starts fine, but then it kind of mixes in with his English accent, and it's just like, nah, fuck it. I'll just speak
yeah,
in
like he
English.
goes
So
back to
sound.
like his Jean Paul like accent.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm 7 feet tall, and I beat superstars by the hundreds. And if they were here, I'd consume them with fireballs from my eyes and lightning from my arse.
You should go to a doctor for that. That's not good.
It's not good. I mean, it's fucking like Mickey was saying to Rocky. Like he eats lightning and craps thunder. Like, bro, you gotta get that checked. Like that's not
Yeah, like
natural.
bro, like you probably have ulcers.
You
Like that's
you
some serious shit.
bro, you probably do. Like I'd get that checked out. I really would. But yeah.
And like and then like Triple H also says is but I am Triple H and I stand here before you in defiance of tyranny. I have come to Hollywood to wrestle as a free man. And a free man am I. Like the horse is pacing back and forth so fast. Like,
Yeah,
holy shit.
he's prancing around a lot. I I noticed that too.
Would I be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to shine on the grandest stage of them all? And tell my enemies that they may try at WrestleMania, but they'll never take my title! Are you with me?
And
And
then
nobody's there.
yeah, it cuts to nobody's there. And then Ric Flair comes out with a donkey. Goes like, well, I wrote down Ric Flair comes out with a donkey, quote unquote, like the ass he is, and then he starts just wooing randomly.
Yeah, he's like wooing every. He's just like wooing here, like wooing there.
Yeah.
He's wooing in the donkey's face.
Yeah, and then
And then like,
yeah.
yeah.
Triple H like starts to try to go on his horse, and then he falls off of it, falls off the horse.
Which holy shit, that had to be a dangerous spot for that stunt person.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
I
because
was
like
I was
falling
legit
off
gonna
a
say
horse
that.
is no fucking joke.
No, it's really not, especially the way he landed too. So
Yeah, especially in a post no Hollywood. Like every time like I see an animal something now, I'm just like, I pray to God you're treating this animal well.
for sure.
Because like I'm pretty sure the donkey got scared when like Ric Flair was wooing in his face.
I didn't know that. No, that was funny.
Yeah, and then like instead of Triple H is like riding on the donkey, Ian and Triple H is just like, are you sure William Wallace is like rode on a donkey? Oh, you look good, champ. We're on WrestleMania. How far is it? Oh, it's just another like 100 miles away. Well, you got this, champ. Woo! Like a thing I've noticed seeing this skit and watching a bunch of other clips out of context with like Triple H is that Triple H can be funny when he's not doing anything with DX.
That's genuinely fair. That's fair and true, I think.
Because a lot of DX shit with Triple H is so cringe, even in like the prime of DX and the Attitude Era, which wasn't even that important to begin with. It's like whenever Triple H is just not doing DX things, he's actually fun.
Remember when they used to call him Try? Right?
Yeah.
Try.
Anyways, I gave this 5 out of 5 donkeys.
5 out of 5 what? Donkeys, yeah. I'd probably give it a, I don't know, 3.5 donkeys. I thought of all there was a lot of good shit in this. Of all the segments, I think this and the Forrest Gump one to me, I think were the weakest. But that's just me. They weren't bad, but of all the ones those two were probably the weakest for me.
Yeah, like the Forrest Gump one, like to me, like is easily weakest, just overall out of all of these.
It's too short. Like it's way too short.
Yeah, it is, and also with like the can of worms that is the subject of Eugene and his character.
Right, of course. Absolutely.
Especially him in like recreating a movie where it's about a mentally challenged man.
Yeah.
And like exploring history and having bad things happen to him.
Yeah. While we're talking about it, why not dive into the Forrest Gump segment? I think there's a lot to be said here about it. Not that there's
definitely.
There's not a whole lot like in terms of like nothing really happens in the segment, but it's a good sort of aside to talk about Eugene, because Eugene's a very controversial character, especially nowadays, 18 years after these skits. So
Yeah, like Eugene, like the best things that I can say about the whole topic in general, just as like a summary of what it is that it is a bit of a complicated subject, given that while like it was a mentally challenged character being played by a man who has no disabilities,
right.
he's like he did it like actually inspire like actual kids with disabilities.
Hmm.
Is it would often and like visit them like for charity and stuff, which is like a genuinely like nice thing to do.
Hmm.
So like I can never like fault him for that. But also sometimes in interviews when discussing the character Nick Dinsmore, or would kind of use that as a way of being like, well, I did this good thing, so therefore all of this can't be bad,
Right.
which I don't think is the proper mindset in handling that entire thing. It kind of comes off like him using that to deflect criticisms that are pretty valid when it comes to the portrayal of the character.
Hmm. For
Because
sure.
I'm pretty sure, or like the idea of his character was made with malintent. Because remember, it's fucking Vince,
Right. For sure.
and
Yeah.
it was because of Nick Dinsmore that he gave that character kind of heart. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it wasn't entirely tasteful either, or
No.
if you look at his entire tenure, because
Yeah.
they still did some like fucked up things here,
Yeah.
and I
He had
feel
a.
like the
Yep.
implication of making him Forrest Gump is like a bit iffy.
It was a bit iffy. He had a 3-year run with the Fed, with him from '04 to '07, I believe. And he hasn't really appeared back since, which is a bit sad because Nick Dinsmore's a good wrestler. But like
He is.
what they did with his gimmick was so damning on him being around the Fed, or him being in any state of like being in a major wrestling company, that the stench of the Eugene character is sort of just hasn't really gone away, especially nowadays where a lot of that stuff is a very sensitive topic for people. So,
Yeah, like I don't think there's ever going to be a clear answer, or like what is tasteful with Eugene. You know, like
right,
whether he is like tasteful or not. I really feel like the positives of like Nick Dinsmore and the Eugene character should be highlighted because there were
right.
significantly like positive things that came from it, but
Oh, for sure.
also the intent behind the character by the people that made it, and like
Right,
how they portrayed him and stuff like that are very valid concerns that should be highlighted as well. Because
right,
to like dismiss one thing like on either side entirely with Eugene, I feel like does a disservice just
right,
with like discussion overall.
right.
So I don't think there will ever be a clear answer to the
Answer.
Eugene question.
I will definitely say though that the first couple of years he was in the Fed, he was there. It was a little iffy. I mean, people knew that. But the worst thing they did with the character is turn him heel, because then they had him be like, you guys are mad at me because I'm special, because I'm this way." And it just, that was the worst. That was the worst. Like, that's
Like, it
not,
was fucking bad.
it was really bad. If you thought the character was bad now, like, he turns heel and he's even worse than he was, because he blames everybody for being like, "Hey, you guys are laughing at me because I have mental development issues." So it's very tasteless. That part of it was 100% tasteless. There's no sugarcoating it at all. That was such a tasteless thing to do. But anyway,
But at least he had a really good run with Regal.
that is true. The Regal run was pretty good. That's because Regal basically is the Midas touch of wrestling. Like everything he touches turns to gold. Everything. There's not one bad
Like
thing Regal has done in terms of wrestling. Everything he's done has been gold. So
especially given that he is just willing to do whatever or it takes to entertain people.
yeah,
Like he is not afraid to make himself like look like an idiot is to
no,
like that the end result is good. Especially since Regal says that his favorite things to do is like whenever he has to do comedy.
right. It's great too because this gives an ounce of respect to like Regal, because if it like he does everything. He literally is a comedy guy. He's one of the most solid wrestlers of that day. It's why people have a big respect for guys like Regal, for guys like Kurt Angle, because they're not afraid to look like to look like chumps in the face of kayfabe sometimes, and it's why they're so well respected. and while other people are not, like they're always going to have this harboring of respect because they were never afraid to look like lesser in the form of stories. So
Yeah, as like I just wish that they had more things for Regal to do in this skit, because like this skit just like comes and goes.
yeah, it's about a minute and a half. It's basically beat for beat from the movie. Eugene eats a chocolate. He says, "Oh, like life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." And he goes through all the bases of WrestleMania segments. He's like, "Oh, you have Hogan slamming Andre, and then you have last year where Benoit won the belt. Avoid, 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 avoid."
Well, yeah, like this is something in WWE is I don't think is in any rush to resurface on their
No,
channel.
this is super outdated at this point. Like this is avoid, avoid, avoid territory. And then there's the bit where he's like, and also at WrestleMania 14 where Mike Tyson punches Shawn Michaels in the face and he punches the woman who's beside him who's reading a Raw magazine, which is quite funny.
Dude, that was a throwback.
Yeah,
Like I wasn't
yeah.
around when that was a thing, but I remembered hearing about like those magazines and seeing like
Same.
what
Yeah.
those were. So like I liked that little thing.
Yeah, there was a whole ass website I used to go on, wrestling website back when I was younger, which showed off the match cards for every show and also showed off all the magazine covers for every magazine that came out. It was the coolest thing ever because back when I was growing up getting those magazines, I was like, I was like 8 or 9 years old when I got those magazines. So the Raw magazines came way before I ever got them. So. But I was subbed to the magazine from like '09 all the way up to when they stopped making them in like 2014 or whatever. So, but no, big throwback on that, even though I'd never looked at the Raw magazine at that point. But yeah, he punches the woman in the face. He's like, "Oh no, I punched her in the face." And then the rest of the WrestleMania logo comes up. Then he runs. Then then Regal comes in and he goes like, "Run, Eugene, run!" And then he tries to revive the woman by lightly waving his hand
Waving
in
her
front of
face
her.
with, like, his hand?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
like-
the fuck? Like, what is he trying to do? Like, trying to waft air in her face or something? Like, I don't know.
Dude, like, that woman has CTE now. Like I don't think that's gonna work.
It's not gonna work. Either it's that or Eugene just wafted a big fart in someone's face and he was just trying to waft it away from him or something. I don't know. Don't know what the hell that was.
I gave this 3 out of 5 chocolates.
I gave this 2 out of 5 chocolates, honestly. So
Yeah, it was originally going to be a 2, but like I gave it a 3 because at least it was short. At least like at least they found a way to put Regal in there, or like even if it's like very short or as well. But like for sure, out of all of these skits, this is the weakest one.
yeah, for absolute sure. I think this is the weakest one out of all of them, which is sad because a lot of them were great. So
Like they are, including this great recreation of A Few Good Men with John Cena as Tom Cruise, who's in JBL as Jack Nicholson.
I didn't do this segment in order. You probably know about it more than I do. So if you want to go through like a whole in order thing, I'll pipe in when needed because I did not write things down in order. I wrote things down super out of order. So.
Oh, I had this in an order of, like what would feel good for like the vibes.
Yeah.
It was like of the episode.
Yeah.
But like I feel like after or like talking about the Eugene shit, we have to go back to like something good.
Something
so, like,
really good.
Good.
Yeah, a few good
men.
Yeah, oh of course, yeah. No, this segment ruled. JBL, God, I don't know what got into him, but he fucking killed it in this segment. He was so good. I don't know why.
Like Jesus, why did JBL like not even try to get thing in Hollywood?
Like he would have been great. Like he genuinely would have been really good. Like he plays the part of the Jack Nicholson part super well. And
yeah, and like John Cena is like he's still like rough around the edges with like acting wise back then because at that point the only acting thing he's done on like was like The Marine.
Right.
But like that movie doesn't come out until 2006, but like production was already done in 2004, like after he got stabbed by Jesus.
Right. Actually, it was Jesus, but whatever. Same thing.
I just like to pretend that it's actual Jesus.
I know.
It's just funnier to me.
No, it's good. It's good. You good.
Yeah. So like John Cena just kind of feels like he's lines, but like with the John Cena intensity that we all know him by,
For sure.
and it works for the most part.
It
Right?
does.
So like this skit opens up in the courthouse where JBL is held on trial
Mm.
for having an order or of banning Orlando Jordan from ringside in a title match that he had with Big Show.
Wait, and
Oh,
also
but
yeah, but the Bashrams came out afterwards and interfered on JBL's behalf instead. So
which is a really good detail because in the actual movie, it's about like a conspiracy that happens where it's two Marines. It's like doing war crimes and getting like killed. Older, but there was like somebody behind the scenes, and that somebody being Jack Nicholson. So I like that they have a duo, or like in this skit that has them do the dirty work, just like in the movie.
that's fair.
Yeah, so it's like the Basham brothers like interfered right instead, and John Cena's just like, "Hey, go well. Oh, like how come? Like, like, are you sure that they follow your orders?" Because of course they follow my orders. Or is that like, and as John Cena's pressing on, unlike, and we got a cameo from the coach.
Hard
It's
hitting,
like,
back breaking, everybody out they
everybody,
see.
the
And the
world is
world is
watching
watching
me.
me.
The
The world is
world is
watching
watching
me.
me.
Homeboy.
Oh boy. We're like, he's the judge in this trial, and he threatens and like holds Cena in contempt of court.
Yeah.
And like as he's pressing him on, like they do the famous as I want the truth, you can't handle the truth.
Hmm.
And then comes possibly the best of fucking monologue that has been in all of these skits, which is saying something because
For
everybody
sure.
else has a job. Here, JBL brings it to another level.
Oh, he fucking
And I
does.
have all of this written here where he
You
says,
really do?
"Son,
Go ahead.
yeah, I have this whole shit written. Like it is, I
I
can't
don't.
do it justice if I just abridge it. It needs the whole
Yeah,
thing needs to be
you got to read
said.
the whole damn thing. Go right ahead.
Like I'm willing." And
Go
like he
ahead.
just says, "Son, we live in a world where I am champion, and this championship must be guarded by my men, and whatever the cost. Who's gonna help me defend it? You, Cena? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom.
Fathom.
You weep for the Big Show, and you curse my men. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. That Big Show's loss, while tragic, probably saved this company." Like Jimmy L's fucking shooting right there.
He is working himself into a shoot. What a mark.
Yeah, he is shooting. He just straight up just show would suck as champion. Suck. Like if he was WWE champion. And that my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, sells pay-per-views. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about like parties, you want me to be champion. At WrestleMania, you need me to be champion. We use words like spectacle and grandeur, majesty. We use these words as a backbone of an event that is bigger than life. At WrestleMania 21 on April 3rd, this will never be truer. I have neither the time or the inclination to explain myself to a man that wishes he were half the champion that I am, and then questions the manner in which I defend it. I would rather you just say thank you and order the pay-per-view. Otherwise, I suggest you lace up your boots and meet me in the ring. Either way, I don't give a damn about what you think you're entitled to. And immediately John Cena presses him on like if he gave the orders. Did you give if the orders? I'll answer the question. Did you give the orders?
You're goddamn right I did.
Like it is so good. The tension and like the moment that he says that, fucking hell, like beautiful.
It's fucking it's beautiful. It is beautiful. There's something that
John Cena just saying, "I'll see you at WrestleMania."
Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to talk about in comparison to the scene as you saw it in the original movie. I was looking at the scene of the original movie on YouTube, and I saw a lot of comments on like how Jack Nicholson basically is like he nails the scene. Like he's so great because somebody said he's so good at looking terrifying without doing anything. He doesn't like his face, like his whole inflection, the diction he has, the loudness of his voice, like that's what makes
Jack Nicholson's a fucked fucker.
He is a fucked fucker, but like that's what makes that scene so good is that Nicholson doesn't break, he doesn't bend in that entire monologue. Like the dude is rolling on and on and on, and like I asked myself the question, like, who did it better, like Nicholson or JBL? Because they both were really solid, and they both knew what was being asked of them here. And I
Yeah, like
think
JBL understood the assignment. Like it
he
was
did.
crazy because part of that model advertising the fuck is what the show is. He says when the show is. It's
Yeah,
like he's talking about his match with John Cena, which is a match on the show.
for sure.
Like this dude is doing the whole ass movie monologue while also advertising for the show, and it somehow comes off natural in a way.
For sure. Absolutely, for sure. But like this was super fucking good. I would probably give this a 5 out of 5 Jonathan Coachmans.
Yeah, like what shit? What? Oh yeah, I rated this 5 out of 5.
What?
5 out of 5 truths.
That works too. I said 5 out of 5 Jonathan Coachmans, but truths work too, I guess.
Yeah, when I was doing all of these work, like all of these skits, like I did like joke ratings, things, but like that actually reflected how. And like for like what the scale should be, I just decided to put like a keyword or from like all of these skits and have that be the like the award.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of,
And the intensity, yeah.
oh no, go on. Sorry.
Oh yeah, and the intensity doesn't stop there because speaking of intensity, Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, call me Kurt Angle.
Kurt
Angle,
like
call me
Kurt Angle and
Angle.
Chris Hemme, which I feel like she should have been in the Basic Instinct parody, but also I'm glad that she wasn't. And because we got the deadlock moment with like Trish and Stacy.
That's very true. For true. For true. But first thing I noticed in this segment is that Kurt and Christy Hemme have some pretty solid chemistry. It's so strange.
Oh yeah, like they're great together.
They are great. They're really good. It's when Harry met Sally. So I saw the scene later too. I've never seen the movie before, but it's where Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal are in the restaurant. Billy Crystal's of course being played by Kurt Angle, and Meg Ryan's being played by Christy Hemme. So
yeah, and they gave Kurt Angle the fucking and Billy Crystal, like the fucking Crystal, oh like hair and the beard with the fucking like sweater that makes him look like a college professor. Like this dude was.
yeah. Oh, for sure. He's dripping. He is friggin' dripping over here. A lot of drip.
Like the Kurt Angle dad drip.
A lot of crazy drip in these segs, which is awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, and they're in like the scene that everybody knows of when Harry met Sally, where like they both like do like where they both orgasm like in the diner, and everybody's just like looking at them. And but here, or they also do a double entendre like the Basic parody, but instead of having it be about sex, it's about Kurt Angle's performance at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So he describes his match-by-match ritual, and as he goes on, Christy Hemme is beginning to orgasm.
She's going like kind of nuts.
The first time this happened, dead-faced Kurt Angle with no reaction goes, "Are you okay?" with like a mouthful of grilled cheese. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was like a pastrami sandwich.
Oh, okay, fair enough. That works too. Grilled cheese, pastrami, whatever. And then here's his match-by-match ritual. He puts on his gold medals. His entrance, his entrance theme plays, and he goes da 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 da. Then he then he does his patented hopping spin. Woo!
And she's going wild.
She's
at this
going
point.
crazy.
Like, early.
and Christy goes like, "Name all the moves, Kurt. Name all the moves." And he says, and Kurt goes like, "Oh, I do the angle slam over and over, and I do it 4 or 5 times even."
Yes.
And then he says he finishes him up by hitting him with the ankle lock, twisting and cracking and twisting and cracking and twisting and cracking.
Christy Hemme's fucking wild.
She's going crazy. Yeah,
Like she is so.
Yeah.
Like slamming in the table, and Kurt's just like, "Yeah, they tap just like that.
Tap.
Tap. I swear to God,
yeah.
like Kurt Angle was gonna rip his shit open.
I
start taking like some perks and just fuck her right on that table.
I had written down here that he yells tap with ferocious Ross Tweddell energy. You know, you remember fucking
that was
the arm bar. Yeah, that was WrestleMania 34 where friggin' Koltak was watching the Ronda match, and there was a point where everybody was excited about something, and Ross was like, "Kill! Kill!
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 Kill!" It's so great.
And but like Gangle's just like tap,
Tap.
tap, tap. Like, oh my god. Like I just imagined and like Kurt Angle just fucking her on that table and
Oh my
everybody. Because at
god.
this point everybody's already looking at them. And,
Yeah.
and this isn't just regular Kurt Angle that'd be fucking her on the
Yeah.
table. This would be Perk Angle, just 1 year behind when Perk Angle actually starts.
Yeah.
Or just like ripping down, like just ripping up his sweater, like the fucking straps, and going, yeah!
It's
And they
weird.
just keep going,
Yeah.
tap, tap, oh yeah, tap,
It
tap, and then they just both just come down from it.
It's weird because in the original movie, it was only Meg Ryan who did the orgasms. Billy Crystal was completely silent for the majority of that scene. So
Yeah, but honestly, it's a lot funnier when it's both of them.
that is very true. That's what I was gonna say too. It's better when it's both of them. And then they both come down. Christy tells Kurt to go past the salt, and Linda McMahon comes in and goes, "I'll have what she's
Linda
having."
Ellerby?
Linda McEllerby from Nick at Night Nick News. Linda McEllerby.
You ruined my childhood, Linda.
I wanted to watch goddamn SpongeBob at 8 o'clock, and you had to go and do Nick News. Damn it.
Like, damn it, I have school in the morning.
Damn, I have school in the morning, damn it. I wanted to watch SpongeBob.
Yeah, like Ed, Ed and Eddie had my back when Linda Ellerby was ruining our childhoods.
For sure.
Yeah, I was on like
that's
fucking Ed, Ed and Eddie, Samurai Jack. Like they had my back, man.
For sure. Yeah. They did.
Where was SpongeBob when and Linda Ellerby?
Yeah.
He like was ruining everyone's lives.
Where
he
was-
wasn't anywhere.
Yeah, where was back at the barnyard when Linda Ellerby was ruining all of our lives? She was nowhere. Or not she, but back at the barnyard. Otis, where were you, Otis? When Linda Ellerby,
needed you, Otis.
We needed you, trans icon Otis. We needed you to save us. Where did you go?
Where did you go, Otis? Where was SpongeBob? Where was Danny Phantom? Where were you people?
Where are you people? Where was Sheen from the hit show Planet Sheen? Where were you?
That's like way later.
I know that, but
Yeah, but
the show was hosted until like 2015 apparently.
Yeah, but like, yeah, like she just says like she'll have what she's having, which that's the most acting Linda McMahon has ever done in her goddamn life.
I heard this on the AE podcast. They did I think it was Mania 17 they did. And there was a segment there where they were talking about Linda McMahon in the wheelchair. And I don't know who said this, but on the pod, I heard them say the best acting Linda McMahon has ever done is when she's sitting down doing nothing. That's not verbatim, but that's a lot of what I had heard. She's
To me,
she's
it's
doing
the
what she
second
does
best
best.
performance.
What's the first one?
This. Like she
That's
actually,
Yeah.
like, it's like the only time I've ever seen Linda like talk like a person.
very fair, honestly. That's legit very fair. So
But this is a crazy ass skit, Jesus.
for sure, absolutely.
Oh my, oh my
Oh,
god!
God.
You had like a really famous movie scene. And, like
Yeah.
you have like Christy, you have like Kurt Angle looking like a beast. Kurt Angle just like getting women horny like so early, which that's how you know he ain't faking that shit.
For
then
sure.
Kurt Angle just like taking perks, fucking women on tables.
For sure. I would give it.
Yeah!
Yeah. I'd give it 4 out of 5 orgasms.
I gave it 5 out of 5 pastrami sandwiches.
That works. That works too.
And as a footnote, WWE did this skit again, but with Kane and Bryan Danielson. And when
Really?
they first started Team Hell No.
Oh,
there was,
what? I didn't know this.
Yes. Okay,
Oh
so
my
when Team
God.
Hell No like was kind of starting, they did like this weekly things with them, and one of them being like pre-recorded in like therapy sessions with like Dr. Shelby taking them to a restaurant
Right.
to do anger management and like skits. It's where one of them was like Kane as a chef, another one was like Kane and Danielson like trying each other's favorite foods.
Right.
And then one of them was just them eating and just talking to each other normally, just kind of feeling defeated by the therapy.
Right.
And like they were referencing a thing that happened on the SmackDown the week before, where Danielson and Kane went crazy and beat the shit out of every tag team on the show with chairs.
Oh God.
Yeah, which ended the show surprisingly. So like Kane was just like talking about it, and they were just bonding over how fun it was to do it. And then and like Kane is just like doing shit like, yeah, when I was hitting and like them with that chair like really hard, and Daniel and like fucking Daniel just kept going yes in place of the orgasm. So like they're both
I figured.
doing in the fucking in like orgasming in the restaurant with everybody watching them.
That's fair. No, I figured that was what they did. I figured they wouldn't do that, especially in fucking 2012 or whatever.
Yeah, like
So,
that's what makes it surprising. But hey, at least they actually did it, and it was actually like pretty funny.
oh, for
Well, for
sure.
a repeat joke, not bad at all.
Not bad. Not bad, indeed. And
Speaking of bad,
speaking of bad, we should talk about the Undertaker and Dirty Harry.
yeah, where he plays a bad man. No, wait, that's Rikishi.
Yeah, he plays a bad
Imagine
man.
like a Rikishi WrestleMania 21.
Bro, that'd be so funny. What would he do? What movie would he be in? What movie would he
Dude,
reenact?
either like fucking Flashdance or like this other movie. Fuck, why is this name escaping me? I know this movie.
I don't know why, but I said in my head Rikishi should do Fight Club. I don't know why.
Yeah, where like he does the fucking stink face in Fight Club.
Yes, yo, that'd be so good. That'd be based as hell.
Okay, so like here, like this one's like pretty short Eugene sketch, but this one is like much better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's great actually. So Taker walks into the frame. I think these were the footsteps from his 2000 theme because they sounded a bit familiar. They might have been referencing it. Dead man walking.
You done it now.
You've gone and made a big mistake. Anyway.
He, and then and like he's just walking down the street with people just looking at him. And he's casually just like carrying a gun, walking up to like a dude who's like on the ground with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Like he's pointing the gun to him, and he says, "You done it now."
Yeah, he
No,
says,
he doesn't. He doesn't say that, but like he
yeah.
does. It's like the monologue like from the movie where he just goes, Now I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. But being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Or do you, punk? A thing I noted in my notes immediately, and like when I was watching like the skit, is that the 44 Magnum looks fucking small on Undertaker,
Yeah,
which kind of
yeah.
shows that the man has big ass hands.
He does. Oh, for sure. That was the first thing I wrote down too. Was that his big ass mitts are holding a big gun, therefore making the 44 Magnum he's holding, quote unquote, the biggest handgun in the world, look a lot smaller.
Yeah, because I was like, for people that don't know like gun stuff, 44 Magnums are very big.
Hmm.
They're very long, like they're kind of thick, like they're kind of heavy to hold because they're magnums. So obviously, like they're
Right.
more powerful.
For
Like they're as
sure.
long as my fucking forearm, and I
Oh
know
my
this
god.
because when I was a kid, yeah, because like, and I know this because like when I was a kid, like my dad and my brother would take me to shooting galleries.
Oh yeah.
And like one of the guns there were like different kinds of magnums,
Oh wow.
and that shit was huge. And it
Hmm.
was like my first exposure as a kid, finding out that a handgun can be big.
It's fair.
Yeah, because like I'm not like a gun person like at all. Like obviously but it's like that would, but like seeing that sort of thing like shattered my mind as a kid. So like seeing that scene with Undertaker or like holding like a 44 Magnum, which is like a thing I actually do recognize, shit looks small. It looks like just a regular revolver in Undertaker's hand, which is kind of scary.
Hmm. That's fair.
Yeah. So like he takes the shotgun on and like the guy he like tries getting his attention, and but like Undertaker just like goes, almost like shoot him. But it turns out he used all six. And so he just,
Ah,
yeah, just like in the quote, which makes Booger Red walk away because he's wearing red.
because he's wearing red. Did you mention
Yeah.
that? Did you mention that the guy on the ground was super breathy when he was saying his stuff? He was like, "Hey, I got to know." But that's legit
Yeah,
all
like
he
he's just
said. Yeah.
yeah, that's literally it. Because like in the actual like all Clint Eastwood talking, which really makes sense given that it's Undertaker doing
Right.
this like skit. So then like he just like walks away,
Right.
but then and like the guy just like he just says, "Son of a bitch," and to which in the original movie like he just keeps walking, but here Undertaker like turns back and just says, "What'd you say?" And then like with the shotgun, which it's actually impressive how he does it. So like he pumps like he throws the shotgun
Yeah.
in the air a little bit to pump it, and he
Right.
catches it immediately, which is actually
Yes.
pretty impressive.
It would be impressive
And,
if they didn't just put a random gun sound effect over it. Because if they didn't
yeah,
if they didn't fucking do that, I think it would be a little more impressive than what it was letting on. But like they played the gun sound effect just a little bit before he cocked the shotgun, which kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, why did they fucking put that in there? Fucking put just
yeah, like, it was
random.
a bit cartoony, but
Yeah,
it's still kind of scary, like with an image of like Undertaker with a gun, like pumping it, getting ready to fucking kill you.
for sure.
Because like he pumps the shotgun, walks back, like points the shotgun at the dude, one-handed, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like, and this is like a full ass shotgun, not like a sawed off shotgun that like people would use one hand for. Like no, like Undertaker takes a full ass modern shotgun with one hand, aiming it at the dude. Then he rolls his eyes back, going, and then like shoots the dude. Cut to black.
yep.
I
That's what.
rated this 4 out of 5 magnums.
Well, actually, no. It'd be 4 out of 4 magnums.
oh,
Ah.
you.
Oh
Like a
hell
thing,
yeah!
like a thing that always gets me about this skit is that while it's not the best out of all of them, but like it's still pretty good. But like just the fact that they somehow convinced Undertaker to do this.
Yeah, this is like I was noticing it too. Like at this point he rarely, if ever, went out of kayfabe. He was still like locked into that phase. So having him
Oh,
do
he
this
was
segment,
full no kayfabe mode.
yeah. So like
But like, yeah, like as compared to now, but like back then, Undertaker was massively I cannot break character like fucking at all.
for
Because I
sure.
remembered, yeah, because I remembered like Justin Leeper, the guy who made Road to WrestleMania mode in the SmackDown versus Raw games,
Oh yeah.
said that Undertaker hated voice acting,
Oh
and like
wow.
even though he was playing himself,
Right.
because like he felt that him speaking in any way would just like hurt the character. But then over time, like he warmed up to it and just did his job anyways.
Fair.
But it's like, and that sounds silly, but that's how fucking and tight Undertaker was like with his gimmick back then. And I feel that the only reason that they convinced him to do it was because it was for a Clint Eastwood joint, and Undertaker, or like as it's not a secret that like he's like that kind of person,
Hmm.
and like gladly made an exception because at least like he did like a fucking macho Clint Eastwood joint.
For sure.
And it's actually amazing how well they had him hide in like in like the suit and even the hair, because like you can still tell that it's Undertaker, but it's not very jarring.
It's not. No.
Like they somehow did a good job in making him look normal, but also, well, like he still looks like pretty imposing because he's still like a really big fucker.
Hmm. Oh, for sure he is. For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
even in the shots where he's walking, like in the beginning of the skit, you can tell he is way too big.
He is very big. The framing of this segment was a lot weirder than all of the other segments as well. I believe this is the only segment that's full screen and not like widescreen. I think so. So
Yeah, like yeah, it's like a lot. Like half of these skits use like go by like the 4-3, while like the other half goes like 16-8.
right, for sure. I don't think I noticed that. I only noticed it with this segment, so that's it's a little weird, but it's fair, I guess.
Yeah, and like and then and like like talking about blasting in like the grand finale
The
that was voted the best skit, and it is. Like
I
it's true that like
genuinely
it
agree.
is.
This is various superstars in a recreation of Taxi Driver. It's the best segment of
Which
all the segments here. So
yeah, which isn't really a recreation of Taxi Driver. It was really more just like them auditioning people to do Taxi Driver,
right, for sure.
which kind of like also adds to the charm of the skit because like all of these skits have been about like wrestlers like in movies is but like this one actually explores like it here's everybody else trying to do a movie role.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But no, most of the other superstars were in this segment. There's a lot of people that show up here, and there's a lot of things to say about this segment. There's so much. So
Like a lot. I have like 3 notes worth of like these
yeah,
fucking
this is for
like,
sure.
of like this fucking skit.
This is for sure the longest batch of notes I wrote for this because it is. It's just it's that good. So it kind of goes.
Yeah, like we open with of all people Heidenreich. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, like he turns to the camera and he goes, hi.
Yeah. He turns to the camera and goes, "Don't even try it." Turns to the camera.
Are you talking to Heidenreich? Are you talking to Heidenreich? Cuts to Batista,
Yeah.
which ironically, you
No.
like giving Batista's shtick in this skit goes on to be like the greatest wrestler turned actor of all time.
For sure. Yeah, he goes like, what's the line? Which I wrote here, ironic because he comes a Hollywood superstar within the next 15 years. That's crazy. And then the producer's like, the line is, are you talking to me? And he goes like, yeah, I'm talking to you. What's the line?
Are you talking to me? And then it just cuts to Shawn Michaels saying, are you talking to me?
And
Rey
then
Mysterio, Shelton Benjamin.
And then
the Basham Bros going, you talking to us?
What's funny about Rey Mysterio, which I'll get into, is Rey Mysterio's wearing a polo under the jacket. Everybody else is either shirtless or, in the case of the women, they have like little shirts on. But Rey's the only man who's not shirtless during this. It's really weird. He fucking has this big blue polo underneath the jacket. It's a little jarring. It's kind of funny.
And like an all black mask, like it doesn't look good.
It looks really weird. Like this is not peak drippy Mysterio with the Chargers jersey and all that stuff. That's not this Rey. That's not this Rey at all. No way.
Yeah, and I know like I've seen Mysterio like single color masks before, but they never looked good because I always associate Rey Mysterio with like dynamic color design like in his gear.
Yeah,
like, he always uses a mix of like many different colors.
Yeah.
So to see him with a solo color in his gear is very jarring, and I do not like it.
I for sure did like the two-tone masks that he'd always have. I loved those. Those were always the best ones.
Oh yeah, like those are great. And like at a good note is that given that this WrestleMania that's coming up is in like Hollywood. And like Rey Mysterio being announced as like a Hall of Famer this year, or like this really brought everything full circle.
I think it did. Oh, I agree with that for absolute sure. Brought everything
And
full
then
circle.
where Big Show walks in.
Oh, well, it's the big not in the frame because I didn't frame it right. I guess.
Yeah, and like his head is cut off completely, just only like his big ass torso.
Well,
like...
it's the chest of the Big Show.
Yeah, and then like after that, like they just cut to Michelle, like fucking Candice Michelle. Oh, like holy shit! I didn't know she was here that this early company, but
I thought it
she's
was
there.
I thought it was Christy Hemme, so I wrote down Christy Hemme appears again, marking the only time someone appears in 2 skits. I didn't realize that was Candice Michelle. I think I had a brain fart for a moment and thought it was Christy Hemme for a minute. It wasn't.
Yeah, I only recognized her because of her hair.
Oh, good point. And then Carlito goes, "You talking to me?" And then Tajiri says it, but he speaks in Japanese.
Yeah, because like that's his gimmick.
That's his,
and then it just cuts to Batista again, and he still doesn't know the line. He's just like, "Come on, man, seriously, what's the line?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Talk to me."
And then, well, Big Show comes in again.
He flexes.
Like perfectly in frame in time.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "You're talking to," and then he rips his jacket.
And then he goes, come on.
And then Orlando Jordan like does the thing.
Yeah, with really short hair and some crazy gold earpieces I wrote down here. he fucking a little drippy out of his mind a little bit.
Yeah, he was going a little crazy. Like the longer the cabinet has been around.
For sure, for sure. And then it's
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Joy
It's yeah.
Giovanni.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know it was Joy Giovanni. That I was
Yeah, I
gonna
didn't
say.
know it was her either. Like I had to look up like the
Yeah,
skit like on Wikipedia
that's
because
fair.
like she was the only
Yeah.
person I didn't recognize.
Same. I wrote down in my notes some lady, don't know. And then Gene Snitsky, who says his line. He goes, "Are you tall?" And then something falls over behind him, and he goes like, "That wasn't my fault."
The best use of Snitsky in anything ever.
Pretty much, I think
Like he
so.
peaked there.
Yeah. He I think he did. Yeah, I'll go with that.
And and then the big show
He's back.
walks in
Jacket's good.
and like
Freeman's good. He says the
yeah.
line.
Are you talking to the boom mic falls on
Yeah.
Big Show?
I realized that he's got like a crazy handlebar mustache during this. Like I
Oh
didn't.
yeah, like Big Show was like crazy at this point.
Yeah, he was going nuts. Then I wrote down afterwards his greatest acting gig since Captain Insano. Still his best
Yeah,
acting gig.
yeah, because like a thing of note here, like with Big Show, is that I think he's the only like a person out of all of these skits where he was actually in Hollywood productions and before doing these skits.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because like there was him as Captain Insano. There
Yep.
was also him in Jingle All the
Oh,
Way.
he was already the big Santa jingle all the way. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like the punches like the little dude. And
Yep.
he was supposed to be in Gladiator or as a side character, but Vince said no.
Oh man, that stinks.
Yeah, and also like I also wrote on my notes with the boom mic, like saying the guy who's carrying the boom mic sucks at his job, and I
No,
know
that's right.
this because I was like there was a thing that I did freshman year of high school where
Oh yeah.
or like we had like this special spring concert
Mm-hmm.
or that like my choir did because I went to an art school. Well,
Yeah.
and like we had like different strands that always did like something crazy.
Oh
And
yeah.
for like the vocal strand, which I was in, we decided to do a thing where all of our songs that we would perform in this show would be based off of like Oscar nominated or winning songs.
Right.
And in this in this is like part of the show, which is the very beginning, and I'll always remember this vividly because I loved it. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
whole show was fun to do, where we were doing an opening skit where, or like we had some of like the students being celebrities, some students being like rabid like fangirls,
Right.
or like some students being like a movie crew, and I was one of the students that was in the movie crew. It
Oh
was me
wow.
and these two guys.
Yep.
It's like one of them was interviewing, another dude was holding a camera, and I was holding a boom mic.
Oh
Like,
wow.
where we would go to like different people in the audience interviewing them. I would be like adjusting, like the boom mic, like, to make sure that it's not in frame.
Oh yeah.
But like making sure that we still heard what they were saying. Like it was so cool. So like
Oh wow.
I
Yeah.
technically have boom mic experience.
Oh, that's sick. Actually, while we're on the topic, I also have boom mic experience. Funny enough, I took a class in college. It was called, I think it was audio video production. It was basically a movie class. So, like,
Yeah.
what we would do is, I think at the end of the year, I think it was, no, it was either the end of the semester or the end of the quarter, or I don't know what it was. We did we did a news segment. You know, everybody had their part. Like, some people were like acting, some people were like, some people were acting, some people were behind the scenes or whatever. I was the guy who was holding up the boom mic because we were in separate groups. There was 2 separate groups for the whole class, and we all attached each other to different roles. I was the guy who was holding the boom mic. During that whole segment, it was a game show segment, so it took a little bit. I had to hold the boom mic the whole time. I was there for about a good 10 minutes in front of a very hot light. And by the time I literally almost passed out standing in front of that light. And by the end of that segment, sitting up there, I was legit about to fall over. It was fucking bad. After that segment, I raced to the bathroom. It was the worst fucking feeling like ever. So I'm pretty sure
Yeah, like lights for production are fucking nuts.
they're nuts. I'm pretty sure I got heat exhaustion from standing in front of a light for too long. I think that's what happened. Because it was not a good feeling, let me tell you guys. It was fucking bad. It was no
Now you know
good.
what it's like to be on the set of The Room.
Oh, God, now I know what it's like. Now I know what it's like to be on the set of The Room.
Yeah, so like literally both of us can confidently sit here and say whoever did the boom mic job on that like sucks at being a boom mic guy.
For sure, absolutely. I'm
Because
100%.
it's not that hard.
It really isn't, unless you're standing in front of a very hot light. Then it's very tough. But
Yeah, but like in it, like but like holding the boom mic in of it,
right, yeah.
and then like Taz and Paul London show up to do the gun pose, but instead of the gun, Carlito like just pulls out an apple and eats it, and like the director is just like, can we lose the apple? And then like Carlito just spits it out and goes, "That's not cool."
That's not cool.
And then Chavo, does
Chavo,
you're talking to me.
and then
Hardcore
Hardcore
Holly
Holly.
does you're talking to
Howdy, you
Molly
fucker
Holly's just
clown.
like, yeah, like fucking, and Molly Holly's just like, hey, you should be talking to me. And then Michael Cole all shows up going, I'm the only one here.
And he is
shirtless.
shirtless. He is fucking shirtless with the jacket. I noticed that too, bro. That is so fucking crazy. That is unbelievable. Oh my
I even
lord.
wrote in my notes, fucking Michael Cole LMAO.
He is friggin' he's yoked up on something.
Oh yeah, like especially now, like holy shit, if you look at Michael Cole's like workout pictures now, the dude is fucking ripped.
He has workout pictures. I didn't know this.
He looks like a monster.
I gotta check this out. I gotta check this shit out. Holy, oh yeah,
reaction.
I've seen these. I've fucking seen these. Oh my god, he's yoked.
Okay, Cole, I'll download the app.
He's yoked the fuck up. Okay, Cole, I'll purchase the WWE Network. Just please stop flexing on me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start working out to look like that, because if Michael Cole can do it, then there's really no excuse for me.
For same. I should start doing it. I don't work out that much, and I'm a bit body conscious, so maybe I should start doing it a little bit.
Yeah, and then like afterwards, speaking of bodies, like Candice Michelle shows up again.
Yep.
And then like just like does a bunch of sexy poses because it's the 2000s with women in WWE.
For sure.
And then a thing I didn't notice until I heard, or until like I watched this again, is that I heard off camera the director going like, "See me after the shoot, please." Jesus Christ. Yeah, that dude's not working in Hollywood anymore.
No way. Get him the hell out of here. Well, in Hollywood, in wrestling, if he was working in wrestling, everybody would cancel him because wrestling's such a big community that all bands together against the bad people. But if this was Hollywood, it'd be swept under the rug, pretty much.
I mean, I feel like it's still the same case for wrestling because a lot of problematic people that got called out for like really heinous shit, and like hardly any of them got any consequences.
But like they're not like. It's not like Hollywood where they continue to work in high profile roles. Like with wrestling, it's just people like canceled people go down a lot. Like say like I'm gonna use him as an example. I hate using him because I know what he did. But like Marty Scurll, he was like a big ROH guy for a bit. When he was canceled, like he's not working big promotions anymore. He's like in friggin' Puerto Rico, which is the only place that'll even accept him still there because they want.
Well,
Puerto
yeah,
Rico
because like
big
Puerto
stars.
Rican wrestling is lawless.
I know it. Exactly. Yeah, it's a friggin' cesspool. So, indeed. But like, that's what
Matt
I
Riddle's
mean.
still employed, so that's how you
true.
know God is dead.
Matt Riddle is still employed. It's a good point. So.
Yeah, he's still employed, and like that's how you know God is dead. So
For
like,
sure.
the next shot, like Batista is still there, just demanding, hey, like, what is my line? In, bro. Oh, like, are you talking to me? Fucking directors, I'm out of here. So like, Batista just walks, and then finally,
the Big Show's back.
Show.
He's framed right.
Reinforced.
His jacket's fit.
The boom microphone guy, like, is finally competent. The frame is good, and then he just turns to the camera and says, "You talking?" It cuts to the WrestleMania advertisement.
Well, actually, he didn't even say anything. It just cuts it. Yeah, it just cuts him right off. He didn't even get a chance to say anything. So.
Yeah, like WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
I miss that narrator, dude.
Honestly, me too. They fucking got rid of him for some guy who doesn't have the same. Like, Triple H changed the announcer, dude. He changed the announcer guy he doesn't have as much energy as the other guy did. I think he's changed it twice now. Around SummerSlam time last year, it was a guy who was like super tired and he didn't sound like he was into it. It was like, WWE presents SummerSlam. It didn't sound as like it sounded like he was fucking tired. Didn't sound as good. But
Yeah. So then, like, Big Show is seething. Like, he's had enough of this shit. Some poor intern on set and just walks by him, and like Big Show grabs him and just throws him against the prop wall.
mm,
Oh, and it just storms out. And then, in a post credits, you see Batista show up on set, just wondering what the hell happened.
yeah.
And then a random guy, he just like asks Batista, like, "Hey, you need any help?" Oh, and Batista just turns to him, full seriousness, even with the hand gesture, going, "You talking to me?"
You talking to me?
And it
And it
just
ends.
ends.
It
Just
ends.
cinema.
Cinema. That
Cinema.
is fucking
Which is funny
perfection.
because Martin Scorsese made Taxi Driver, so like
That's true. That's for true.
I rated this 5 out of 5 taxis.
That's what I gave it. I gave it 5 out of 5 taxis.
And like when I was making these notes, I even made like a short list of like wrestlers and movies that I would want to see. I mean, obviously they're not doing these now because they're in the middle of making these skits, but
Oh, yeah.
I made like a short list where I pitched the Banshees of Inisherin and starring Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. And I know Drew McIntyre is not Irish, but given
Right.
that it's a movie about a friendship falling apart in
Right.
Ireland, and like this still kind of works.
No,
I also
that would be legit awesome. I love Banshees of Inisherin. It's a great movie.
yeah, it's a great fucking movie. And
Mm.
then I also got Black Panther starring the New Day, and I mentioned this because it's like the New Day were trying to do a Black Panther thing at WrestleMania 30, but like something fell through to which they couldn't and do it, which
Right.
sucks because like they even had like pictures of like what they would look like, where like they had fucking Big E as M'Baku, or like Woods it's just like Killmonger and shit, and like it looked cool. Like it would have been great, especially since at that
Oh,
time
that
Black
would have been
Panther
awesome.
came out and
Right.
became this massive cultural phenomenon. Like this shit was big,
Oh, it was. It was
like
very big.
big.
For
Like it
sure.
almost over like in some ways it almost overshadowed Infinity War, which was coming up at that time, which was fucking nuts to think about.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. And as an extra note, I also pitched the Black Panther Wakanda Forever with the same cast, but this time in like Namor, or like in his posse is played by Legado del Fantasma.
Oh, that works great. Now, Escobar would be a
Yeah.
great Namor. He'd be great.
Yeah, especially with how awesome like Namor was in that movie.
Is it
Like as
pronounced Namor or Namor? Because I always call him Namor.
well, like in the comics and stuff, it's pronounced Namor, but like in the movie, they changed it to Namor because
Namor.
it's because in his origin story, he like a Spanish priest like called him like a kid without love, of so like no amor. So he made his name
Namor.
Namor, which is
That
a
makes
sick ass origin story.
that is pretty sick. No, that's really neat. That's great.
Yeah, like the movie did great with Namor, which surprises me.
I haven't
Like
seen
making Namor Mexican was the greatest creative change they ever did.
I haven't seen Wakanda Forever. I just hear stories about it because I watched the Oscars a couple days ago, and I saw that Angela Bassett was nominated for Best Supporting. And when Jamie
She
Lee
should have
Curtis
won.
won, yeah, when Jamie Lee Curtis won, apparently Angela Bassett was a bit miffed because she didn't win, which I understand. Like Bassett fucking killed it, but Curtis never got any. I mean, I get Everything Everywhere All at Once was a great movie. I've never seen it, and
Yeah,
I
like
want
it's
to
a
see it, but
masterpiece.
it is a
But like
masterpiece,
Jamie Lee Curtis is of when I think
right? For sure. But like, yeah, I really think that Angela Bassett should have won that. Honestly,
yeah, dude, she brought me to tears in that movie. Like how the fuck did she not win?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like just that monologue that she did like in the throne room when and like Shuri got kidnapped by by Namor's guys,
Oh
where
yeah.
he says, "I am the queen of Wakanda and the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone." That shit hurts.
Oh man.
Like that shit hits. So like how she didn't win, I don't fucking know.
Hmm.
So like the other movies I also got X starring The Schism.
Oh my god. Yo, that'd be so sick. Does this
Yeah,
mean
because it is about like a bunch of serial killers backdrop of the 70s.
right? Does this mean Ava Rain would play Pearl? right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Also, Texas Chainsaw could work for the schism as well.
Oh, for sure. Like, because like, it's also like a '70s flick with like a fucked up family.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like Joe Gacy would be like Iko Bubba. Like
Yeah.
the head dude would be Zach Gibson.
Yep.
Like, and then I
Actually,
also got
yeah.
yeah,
Not Zach Gibson. Jagger Reed, right? No.
yeah, Jagger.
Yeah. No, wait a minute. Is his name Jagger Reed? No, it's Rip Fowler. Jagger Reed's James Drake. Rip
Yeah,
Fowler's fucking Zach Gibson. All right, go on. Sorry.
yeah. I also got Creed starring Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller. I chose this like the first Creed specifically because it's about since it's about like Adonis like coming into his own while like balancing like how much of his father's legacy he like is left on him.
Right. Yeah, no,
And
that's
then he
good.
also fights like this really cocky boxer dude
That's
ooh,
fair, yeah.
that's from like another country. So I decided to make like Braun Breaker Adonis, Grayson Waller like that. I like obviously Grayson Waller's Australian.
Right. No, that works great. That's super good. I wish I came up with ideas for what I would take as like modern wrestlers being in like films. I wish I had done more of that because I didn't. But no, these are all
Yeah.
cool ideas. I really do enjoy
I
all
also
this.
yeah, and I got a few more. Like I got
All
Malcolm
right.
X starring Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah, melanin in my soul,
My soul,
every night
everything back out of
out of
control.
control.
Do
Do
it
it
all
all
for
for
Martin
Martin Luther
Luther King.
King. Oh, that's
I
great.
mean, Cody was there in the civil rights movement when he was marching with Martin, Malcolm, Rosa. Oh,
Oh yeah.
like he was with all of them. So it's only fitting that Cody Rhodes gets to be in a biopic about his best friend.
For sure, that's great. No, I'm very happy for Cody to get this opportunity. This is a great opportunity for him. So very
Yeah.
exciting for Cody.
And then like this next idea is very unorthodox, but I think it can work.
Go ahead.
Right? Because my brain is weird like that.
All
Where I
right.
put VHS, but it's in the form of GTV.
Okay. Well, it works. It's super out of the ordinary, but that would certainly work. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got into the VHS movies lately, and
Oh yeah.
like they're pretty fucked. Like they're great, except for
Hmm.
VHS, like that 2014 one. Like that one sucked, but all the other ones are great. And even like some of the directors that worked on those movies are like big time directors today.
Oh yeah.
Like which is pretty cool. Because like one of the directors in the original VHS like got to do Scream, so like that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah. That's pretty sick. That's really sick.
Yeah, and for like my obligatory non WWE idea, I put Terrifier starring Danhausen.
That works out. I've been thinking of several ideas as you've been doing this, but I have Orange Cassidy and somebody else for Bill and Ted. I don't know who would be next to him.
Nice.
I was gonna say Danhausen, but it wouldn't work. It'd have to be Orange Cassidy, and then it'd have to be maybe Chuck. I think maybe Chuck Taylor. I'm not sure, but and then like somebody would have to be Rufus. So I don't know who that would be. But I've all I have is Orange Cassidy and Bill and Ted.
Rufus would be Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, so at this point, yeah, no, no, that'd be good. I was gonna say if he's Jeff Jarrett, then this means Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh have to be Bill and Ted.
Oh no! Okay,
No
I no
way.
longer like that idea.
Nope, nope. Don't, I'm saying it because I just watched Bill and Ted again the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of some as you're going through here. I'd have one of the tall guys, either Omos or Satnam Singh in Phantasm, probably. Although that may be a little obscure.
I would put like Almas in there, or
I
because
would
I'm an
too.
Homo sapien.
Oh, I am also an Homo sapien. Hello, my
Dude, I am
Homo
pulling for
sapiens.
Almas. Let's like to beat Brock. Homo sapiens rise
Homo
up.
sapiens forever. I am literally wanting him to beat Brock's ass. He's got to fucking beat Brock's ass.
Like
Legitly.
fuck yeah. So like, what other ideas you got?
Oh god, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot. I only had the Bill and Ted and the I'll probably something will probably come to me as we're still talking here. Something will definitely come to me. Maybe Hangman Page and something. He's a cowboy. He can definitely work on a lot of cowboy films. Maybe I'm trying to think of an iconic cowboy movie. Maybe Hangman Page and the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? Maybe?
What
Like,
about like Hangman Page, Agent Tombstone?
I was gonna say Tombstone, but then I have to like form all of Hangman Page's crew with him. Like Hangman would be Wyatt Earp. He'd fucking 100% be Wyatt Earp. And I'm thinking Kenny Omega would be Doc Holliday. That'd be great. That's awesome. And then
That's awesome.
and then the Young Bucks would be the brothers. Actually, no, switch that. Kenny Omega would be Wyatt Earp, and then Hangman Page would be Doc Holliday, and then the Young Bucks would be the two other Earp brothers.
Yeah, this sounds
I'd
about right.
I'd have to fucking formulate this whole cast now because I fucking love Tombstone, one of my all-time favorite films. Awesome movie. I have a poster of it behind me in my room. So,
That's awesome.
it's awesome. I don't know who I'd put
That's
as
awesome.
I don't know who I'd put as everybody else, but I think we got a good thing going with Hangman Page as Doc Holliday, and then Kenny as Wyatt Earp, and then Nick and Matt Jackson as the two other Earp brothers. From there, I'm not even sure.
Yeah. So like, what do you like? What would you say like overall about all like these skits?
I like them a lot. Like I said, I've not watched a whole lot of these movies, but I understand how iconic they are and how a lot of people know about them. And I think it's a good way, like I said earlier on, to advertise WrestleMania without being like this is an advertisement. They weaved it so seamlessly into the skits that it made them feel natural. And not only that, but the superstars were giving their 100% on these performances, treating these like they're not just advertisements, that they're legit like skits. So, and they're getting into their characters, and I appreciate the little things like that because the skits now are like it's just they're they're in the universe of the character, which is that's the reference, that's what makes it funny. And it's not like it doesn't hit as well, something about it. They don't go a full 100% with these ones that have come out, so it's not as good. It doesn't hit as hard as the ones back here did. But no, all these ones were good in their own ways. Even the Forrest Gump one I thought was fine, even it was a little short. Out of all these, it was the weakest, but that doesn't mean it was bad. Still a good segment.
Yeah.
But overall, I liked these a lot. I liked all of these a lot, and I think they're a good. They really are a good example of why like this shit doesn't like. WWE has these ideas now where they want to go full into something, but they don't commit. So it ends up being 50-50. They do a lot of that stuff with so many gimmicks of theirs are like they have a good idea, but they don't fully go into it. So everything feels like it's halfway. That's what I feel a lot of the product is now. They have ideas, but they don't fully embrace those ideas, and that's why things are just kind of muddied up with them. So, and the skits now for this year's WrestleMania are symbols of that. Are symbols of that ideology that I think. So,
Yeah, like have some fun and also like do better with your production design. Jesus.
exactly. Yeah, like I think of all
Yeah, like
those,
they
yeah,
painstakingly recreated all of those sets.
they
Especially
did.
the Pulp Fiction one. Like the Pulp Fiction apartment one, I think is the best recreation.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that big time. It is the best
Like it
recreation.
looks fucking exactly like the
It does. Oh, for sure, it does.
I mean like for me, like also like I loved these like skits. Like they're always a lot of fun to revisit.
Mm.
Like at any time. And like even with like non-wrestling fan friends, as I just like showing them like some of these like skits to be like haha, like these are like these funny wrestlers doing and like being part in a movie, waka waka.
Waka
And
waka.
like they always get like a laugh out of
For
like they still get like a laugh out of it. And like even
right.
though like they know nothing about wrestling. So it's like this isn't just good wrestling media, this is just entertaining media in general. Like this is good. I loved all this.
Oh, same. I'm in the same boat. I loved all this as well. It was all very
Even
good.
making notes for this was like really fun.
It took a while, but I think making notes for this was also super fun.
They're like fucking worth it.
Worth it all. Fucking worth it.
So I think and like we got everything. like said about these skits that we need to say? Like, how do you want to close it?
Well, we can close it by saying that this podcast is I don't know if we have a set schedule on this podcast. I think we mentioned once a month on it, I think.
Yeah, like realistically, we can
Realistically.
only do like once a month because like we both have like IRL shit.
Yeah, which is rare because when we were doing this before, I wasn't as busy with IRL shit. So this is something a little newer for me. So, but anyway, no, I'm glad we're doing this, and we'll be doing this probably once a month. So I'm very excited to continue doing this because no, this has been fun. So
Like, I had a lot of fun doing this too, but like I'm excited to see like where we go from here.
hell yeah. I think for the next episode, if you want like a little teaser, then yeah, we're doing a book next episode. So very exciting stuff. This will be something that we've been wanting to dive into this for a while, but it's been hard because I've been procrastinating and haven't read the book yet. So, but no, I'm pumped up. You guys will be very excited for what we're gonna do next. But it's a book. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything else. It's a book.
A book that may be controversial among like wrestling fans in terms of like how it's for me. But for me, like I personally think it's actually a great book.
For sure. Yeah. From what I hear, it's a good book. So I'm very happy to dive into it because I haven't read like a proper book in like years. So I'm pretty excited. So that's that.
Yeah.
Anything you wanna say before we close this thing off?
Yeah, so I'm gonna like be a shill just like these WrestleMania 21 skits where or like you can follow like my Twitter at like Apollo Picaro. Oh like again my Twitch itch that like I'm starting to like, get up like also under the same name of Apollo Picaro. Like I occasionally like do art and do streams like whenever I can.
Hmm.
And just a vibe, but also just like trying to get better at art in general.
For sure. Yeah. If you would allow me to shill for a quick minute too, you can follow me on my Twitter at nitro_ftw. You can follow me on my Twitch, which is I think it's real. Yeah, real_nitro_ftw. That's my Twitch. And then I have a podcast on Spotify called Indie Revolution, spelled INDIE. It's got a couple of episodes there. I've done episodes with a couple of my friends now, and I'm very proud of those. So if you want to go check those out on Spotify, they're on there. And yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for listening to the first episode. We hope you enjoyed it because we certainly enjoyed it.
And
So
please tell us like any gimmicks that we should do.
yeah, please give us suggestions on gimmicks because we're still looking for some. So yeah.
Like, we're still looking for gimmicks. We're still looking for many things. And I guess to close it off, I guess we can say that you've heard of inside the ring, and you've been beyond the ring. And there's even a dark side of the ring, but here is the other side.
The
There's
other
many
side.
sides to a ring, actually.
Yeah, the many sides to the ring, but this is the other side of the ring. If you
Yeah.
believe that is the only way, then you're a fool who lives to die. I don't know how the theme goes, but yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next month. Catch you guys later. Goodbye.